I learned something very important today. And I just asked my friend Xander this simple question. How long does the average viewer watch the Big Sill show? Over an hour. Do you know when I was on radio? Do you know what the average listener, TSL it's called in radio, time spent listening? Do you know how many people listen to my radio show for 25 years? As an average, 4 minutes. Completely different platform. I get it. Look at this. Martin, he listens to our show for an hour and a half. Guys, please hit the like button. The magical like button went nuts yesterday. We had 1.2 when it came to likes yesterday. 1,200 likes. We loved it. So please hit the like button again. Yeah, get this. That's how I'm interested. JM, listen to the people who give me the most shit. JM, 70 minutes. Martin, an hour and a half. What else do we have here? He was rolling on likes. Thank you, Flexin. I listen as long as you're not boring me, Sills. Sills loves Josh Allen. You bet, baby. You bet. Everyone hit that like button, please. We're trying to get to 200 likes today. Mark Holmes is running scared. I don't know. I could go more hours, Sills, but I'm at work. Martin, hour and a half. I think we're all pretty happy about that. Look at Twist, 2 to 6 hours. 2 to 6, baby, 4 hours. Get this. Look at that one. Look at that one, Xander. Twiz listens for 4 hours and watches the show for 4 hours. I do love Lenny Kravitz, actually. Same, as long as I'm entertained and not busy, I'm listening. JM, that's awesome. Let's get to 1K likes today. M. Escobar, I love you setting the bar. Always set the bar high. Always set the bar high. That's fantastic. That's right, Sue. Josh Allen. Sills, I watch this when I'm off work. Kyle, thank you. Hey, look at Mike. 4 hours. That's pretty crazy awesome. I'm humbled, man. I'm not kidding you. Brian, 4 hours, even better when I can catch it. May not be fully in the chat, but I'm at work. Q, thank you. Sills, listening to you makes me understand my team better. Martin, I tell you what, you guys, this is awesome. This is a great Friday already for me. I mean, really, you got to put AirPods on at work, but hey, Annette, thank you. That's awesome, man. JAKIB running Philly sports media. That's why they're scared. Same here. I listen every day when I'm not in the chat. Rock steady. Thank you. JAKIB is king. That's pretty dope, man. 4 minutes in my radio career. 4 minutes. Average time spent listening is over an hour here or watching. Listening to you does make me drink, though. Oh, yeah, the Philly Godfather's on at 5:30. Xander. Maybe it's Xander that ended up getting us all those likes. Okay? Hey, anything, man. I don't care. I'll deflate a football anytime. Sills, my wife wants to know who I love more, you or her. She's mad I had to think about it. Well, then, hey, Philly 4 for 4, you must be married as long as I am, because my wife would do the same thing. Here, Philly 4 for 4. This is all you need to know about people who have been married a long time. You ready? So we had some food delivered to the house, right? Person comes up and she looks at my driver's license. She goes, well, you're a little bit older than 21. Here's my wife. Well, if I was 21, I wouldn't be married. Me and the person who delivered the food looked at my wife and went, you'll have to excuse her. She goes, what? I'm like, you just have to excuse her. If I was 21, I wouldn't be married. We both had nothing to do with the conversation. And we're both looking at her going, holy shit. Unbelievable, man. So thank you guys so much here on this Football Friday. We're 98 days out from Packers and Eagles. How crazy is that? 98 days out until Sao Paulo, Brazil. Looking forward to it. Hey, by the way, we live in a crazy time right now in our country. The two things that are going to dominate the headlines all the way until November 5th or 6th, whatever it is going to be the political landscape and sports. I think it's one of the most interesting things on the planet to be watching right now. Hey, I'm going to tell you what's really hurt the sports broadcasting business, especially radio, has been Donald Trump. Prior to Trump being in the political arena, sports talk dominated news talk. Now, news talk's killing it. Look at Fox News and CNN with the spots they sell. Trump's good for business. Good night. See, I look at it different than you. You guys look at it as a political hatred. I look at it as monetizing. I think that's how Xander does too. We both look at it like this. Trump's good for business. I don't look at it like you. I could give a shit about anything except what makes my show bigger. He's good for business. CNN negative, Fox News positive. Hey, good, bad, and the ugly. Long as it's monetizing. All about the dough. All about the greenbacks. That's it. It's a crazy time we live in. I watched this whole fiasco yesterday. Completely different dynamics. And you're like, damn, this is so... Can you imagine a company right now wanting to advertise with Fox or CNN or MSNBC or any of these places? Man. The money... As much as CNN hates Trump, they're charging advertisers top dollar for it. You ain't watching for Joe Biden in a weekend at Bernie's. Watching for Trump. CNN couldn't exist without him. They couldn't exist. Dude, all those guys making huge money. Man. Crazy great. What a way to tap into something. What a way to tap into it. Hey, I'm not even giving you a political speech on either side. I'm just telling you, wow, is that good for business? That's why controversy sells in sports. Controversy sells in sports. Why? Nobody wants to hear about the Eagle Autism Charity Bike Ride, which is a great event, which helps thousands of people. You know what they want to hear? A.J. Owens. They want to know what's going on with your boy, Fredo Sirianni. That's what they want. I don't give a shit about. They want to know about Antonio Brown. They'd rather have you cover the top 1% of the train wreck stories. Slow start for offense at OTAs. Oh, baby. Kenny Flickett. Oh, by the way, the story coming out of OTAs is that Flickett outperformed Wishbone Hurts. The offense looked terrible under the direction of Wishbone Hurts. Apparently, even Kenny Flickett sucked yesterday. That was probably because of the wonderful and crazy great defense you have in the building. Yeah, baby. Kenny Flickett. Kenny Flickett is going to be the starting quarterback by week 10. How you doing? Oh, man. Unbelievable. We got a ton of things we're going to hit on. Xander's going to join us at 3:30 as he always does. So I'm going to start it out with here. Since Xander said the offense is sucked under the direction of Wishbone Hurts, let's go here. Okay? Let's go here. By the way, folks, please hit the like button. Let's ask a simple question about your boy Saquon Barkley. Is Barkley the player that pushes the Eagles over the finish line for a Super Bowl title this year? Is he the player in the addition that sends the Eagles to the finish line and they finally win one? Joe says no. Flexen says no. No defense. Nope. What up, Christopher? Thanks for stepping in with us. So Barkley's not the catalyst that carries you across the finish line for a Super Bowl? Report came from Pickett's QB trainer. Hey, Shaquille, Wishbone Hurts has blown in OTAs the whole time. Seals, can I get a new quarterback? 2030? Sure. Not until 2030. You're tied to that guy. You're tied to that guy. Not Saquon, but coaching will. Coaching will with coaches that have not done shit in their entire careers. Okay. Barkley is the catalyst. Why else did they pay him all that money? Pickett has been picked off and thrown some ducks. Hey, so you got two dogs in the building, and Wishbone Hurts and Kenny Flickett. Sounds like a great quarterback room. If Kelsey was here and Hurts proved he could execute the more offense, then Barkley would be the difference maker. Let's take a look at the difference maker. We broke down your difference maker. Because here's the two things that are different now compared to last night's or last year's nightmare. It's Barkley and Kellen Moore. Am I right? Oh, yeah. And wait. And the loss of Jason Kelsey. Which is a bigger impact on the offense, you think? Adding Barkley? Adding Moore? Losing Kelsey? What do you think? What do you think has more of an impact on the offense? Kellen Moore? The addition of Barkley? Or the addition of Kellen Moore? Losing Kelsey. Losing Kelsey. Christopher goes, adding Moore is more significant to the offense than losing Kelsey. Losing Kelsey, of course, it's a no-brainer, Sills. Well, not all say that. There are people who don't believe that. I mean, so let's take a look at that. Here's Saquon Barkley. We've broken him down. Or maybe I shouldn't use that because I don't want to jinx it. Dude got hurt in 2000. What was the year? 20. 4 years ago. So, but let's take a look at the overall. How many years now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's been in the league 6 years. He's played a full season, 18, which is his only year that he played a full season. The most carries he ever had was 22, which was 29 or 295 carries. Most he's ever rushed for was 22. 13, 12, and 3 of the 6 years he's had 1,000 yards. One of those years he had 962, which was a year ago, which got him the $10 million deal. Spence says that Barkley's a great addition. Okay, you tell me if these are great numbers. Moore is not, but Eagle fans are overrating him. By far they are. But you got to remember something. 304, thank you for the super chat. By the way, 304, think of this though. They're gauging him on their hatred for Brian Johnson because they're using Brian Johnson as an scapegoat for Jalen's poor play and Nick's poor coaching. Remember that. Brian Johnson was not a good coach last year. I say it's the player not being able to find and spread the ball around. You can blame all the coaches you want. That excuse. So 304, follow me here. Brian Johnson's leverage in the NFL will rise next year once they find out. Kellen Moore won't fix that either. He won't fix that either in 1 year. Or half a year, whatever it is. Remember something. He's been in the building since when? February? February, January, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So you think in 9 months he's going to be able to teach Jalen Hurts how to spread the ball around? Wow, are you dumb? Wow, are you dumb? He's not that good at doing that. Okay? He's not that good. I'm talking both guys. The quarterback has a limited skill set, and he's not a prolific passer. You brought a prolific passing offensive coordinator into the building, which doesn't fit the skill set of the player. But yet you're asking Kellen Moore to coach a guy he's never coached that style too. Okay. And once again, I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about being effective. I'm not talking about 4,700 yards with 35 touchdowns. I'm talking about being effective. Since when has Jalen Hurts in his time in Philly been effective on spreading the ball around? Hey, outside of Dallas Goedert, no other receiver in the last 3 years has done shit on that team. The two superstars have done great. Absolutely. Wentz did more with less and won as many games. When he won 11-2, he's spreading the ball around to nobodies. Alshon Jeffries, what a punk. Honestly. Psst, 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 psst. The whisper in the corner. I call him Judas Jeffries. It's Judas Jeffries. Dude, you're paid to catch the ball. Not be a political activist in your locker room by picking one quarterback versus another. It's a punk-ass move. Whoever gets you to football, eat it. That's who your guy is. Sitting there politicianing. That's what the kind of stuff you had going on in that locker room. Absolutely. So let's take a look at Barkley here. Okay? Let's look at Barkley. How many people believe that Saquon Barkley is an elite back? How many people believe he's an elite back? How many people believe? RTF does. Gabe goes absolutely. Spin says okay. So here, since his injury in 2020, 2 games, 19 attempts, 34 yards, 0 touchdowns. 6 catches, 60 yards, 0 touchdowns. In 21, 13 games, 162 carries, 593, 2 touchdowns, 41 receptions, 263. 2 TD catches. 22, 16 games, 295 carries, 13, 12, 10 touchdowns, 57 catches, 338, no touchdown receptions. This past year, 14 games, 247, 962 yards, 6 touchdowns, 41 catches, 280 yards receiving, and 4 TDs. He's played in the last 4 years, 45 ball games. He's played 46, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. He's played 45 ball games since 2020. He's rushed for 2901, 18 touchdowns, 145 receptions, 941. Comes out to this. About 180 carries a year, 725 yards a year, about 4 touchdowns a season, 36 catches for 235 yards. Here's his numbers for and per game. 16 carries, 64 yards, 3 receptions for 21 yards. That's 85 yards a game of total offense he's given his football teams in the last 4 years. You think that number goes up? You think they give him the ball more than 16 carries a game? Do you? And for the record, he's nowhere. Stop making comparisons to McCaffrey. He absolutely is nowhere near the skill set level as McCaffrey. When McCaffrey was on a shitty Carolina Panthers team, he was the ultimate dual threat back. 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard runner, and had 100 catches one year in Carolina. So don't make that comparison. Jason says I'm a liar. Really? Jason thinks that's a lie. He thinks that's a lie. That McCaffrey didn't have all those numbers. Okay? How about we do this for you, son? Christian McCaffrey stats. Let's take a look at that. Says we're a liar. That he didn't have those numbers. Well, 1 year receiving, McCaffrey had 2 years of over 100 catches. 1 year was 1,005 reception yards with 116 catches. And he also had 1,400 yards rushing. Don't change something that's not true. Your boy's never in the room. And he was in Carolina. So you can't make the comment that that guy was horrible and he got better when he was in San Francisco. That's not true. He's been always good. Barkley is not as talented. Never has been, never will be. And for the record, are these numbers great the last 4 years? How'd you give him $8 million? So again, this is another Howie Roseman projection, right? That because he's going to play with better talent, you think those numbers are good. So you really believe that they're going to give Barkley more carries, like 25, 30 carries. So you're going to run the ball 30 times a game? 25 times a game? Jalen's not going to be a runner? Jalen is this offense is so predictable already. So you bring Barkley in, the more carries you give him, once again, keep those guys out of the end zone. Barkley gets 20, 25 carries, he won't make the year. Okay, Chris, so they're projecting that Barkley will be better because he's got better talent. I'm not saying that that's a dispute. I'm not saying that's a dispute. But I agree with Brian. It's a gamble. That goes like this. A.J. Brown joined a team with more options, and he got better. But the team didn't get better. Last year, get this, the 2022 year, nobody knew A.J. Brown was that good. His past record in Tennessee didn't prove that. Once they figured out they're going to completely go to him, and once they knew they were going to go to Devontae, that's why you lost 6 or 7 down the stretch. You became ultra predictable. And with Goddard not being out there, now you're going to take another element away. So you're just going to, how many people believe with Barkley in the backfield that Jalen Hurts' rushing totals will come down too? You think Jalen runs more this year or less? Let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at how many carries he's had in the last 2 years. So let's do that. Let's take a look at that. Jalen Hurts stats. PJ, thank you. Hi, great program. Question 1. Does an NFL team take on personality of its head coach? Yes. Question 2. Is continuity from year to year overrated, underrated? Xander, can you please put that super chat back up there? I want to make sure that I get the full read here with that super chat if we can. Hi, great program. Thank you, PJ. Question 1, does an NFL team take on the personality of its head coach? It's a little different today, PJ. When you had big-time personalities like Bill Parcells or Jimmy Johnson or Mike Ditka or Buddy Ryan, guys like that, that was the personality of the football team. But because of the analytic weirdos, I think it takes on the personality of your organization. And I think that's what it's not centric to the Eagles any longer. It's a league-wide thing. Like nobody would go, the Rams are the personality of Sean McVay. I think most organizations today don't have a personality. They're a creature of the front office. So it's different. You don't have high-end personality coaches any longer. So Nick Sirianni's personality, do you really think screaming in the fans and waving on a bench and screaming at Kansas City Chiefs fans, that's the personality of the Eagles? I don't. So it's different today. So no, it doesn't take on the personality of the head coach. Like Kansas City's not the personality of Andy Reid. It's the personality of Mahomes. Q2, question 2. Is continuity from year to year overrated? Absolutely not. Underrated or immaterial in the NFL? Thank you, PJ. PJ, think about this. The teams that make the least moves are traditionally the teams that have the most success. Let's take a look at Kansas City, for instance. RTF, McCaffrey had 8 touchdowns and 900 yards total in his last 3 years with the Panthers. Stop lying to your audience. It's the same situation. No. He was hurt for sure. But the skill set, he's never in his league. He's never accomplished the shit that you think he's accomplished. Dude, Barkley has never had a year or multiple years. His first 2 years or 3 years in the league, 2 of those 3 years, he had 100 catches. This guy had 225 catches over a 2-year span. Where in the world is Saquon Barkley in that? Not even remotely close. Not in the remote room. And get this, nobody on the planet. Well, here, how about this one? There's a reason why Christian McCaffrey's the highest paid running back in the league. It's because of what he does. Hey, dude, I'm not going to debate broken down Saquon Barkley over McCaffrey. You want to hear a statistic, folks, about Saquon? Or excuse me, about McCaffrey? Since McCaffrey's been in San Francisco, in 34 games, he scored 38 touchdowns. What? What? And there's a reason how we tried to make a trade for him. You tell me. You think he's you think he's so Saquon, in your opinion, is not the wild card to push you over for a Super Bowl, right? What is? Kellen Moore? What has changed the dynamic from a year ago to win you a Super Bowl? I'll listen to anything. Vic Fangio is the wild card to win a Super Bowl. Seals, the difference in O-line quality between the 49ers and Panthers was plausible. Are you crazy? The Carolina Panthers offensive line, have you seen that thing the last 6 years? It's been one of the worst in pro football next to the Tennessee Titans O-line. They have not been good in the O-line for a decade. Defensively, in their D-line they have been. O-line? Absolutely not. Not true. I'll make a point to you. You know, a lot of people believe that the Detroit Lions have the two best bookend offensive tackles. And they think that that offensive line up there in Detroit is better than yours. I don't think it's that gaping like people think. Okay? I don't. But you lost Kelsey. They have Ragnow. It's been Kelsey and Ragnow that have gone back and forth in the NFC who the top center is. They have the top center in the NFC now up in Detroit. And their two tackles, they're saying, are better than Mailata and Lane. I don't know. I want to see that on display this year. I do. I'm not ready to pass that off to Detroit yet. A lot of people have already. A lot of people have. Okay? A lot of folks have. Okay? Barkley ran for over 1,000 yards 3 years out of 6. Great. Congratulations. So he averaged 64 yards a game. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So Barkley's not going to take you across the finish line. Is that correct? What is? It ain't going to be that quarterback. Hey, I know a lot of people think that he's going to have a bounce back year. Xander said it yesterday too. All good. Bounce back from what? Last year? So he's going to have a year like 22, you think? So you guys are looking at Jalen Hurts having 22 touchdowns and 3,800 yards. And what was it? 6 picks, 9 picks? That year in 22. I don't think it was very low volume. That's what you're looking for? Okay. Believe me, I'm more concerned about the turnovers than the touchdown passes. I kid you guys about 30 TDs, but the reason why those other guys have to do it is because that's how the league wins ball games today. They don't win with running quarterbacks. They win with passing quarterbacks. If that's the case, Andy Reid would have a running back type quarterback in Kansas City and not a prolific passer. He's always had a prolific passer. McNabb. And when he had it with Vic, it was kind of good. But not winning. Hey, what did Michael Vick ever fucking win? As electric as Michael Vick was, Yeah, here's the difference, RTF. Josh Allen throws for 4,600 yards and wins and plays in the AFC. Hey, by the way, I'm not debating this any longer because the only people that don't believe that Allen is the second best or third best quarterback in the league are some of you in here. That's okay. You're a minority. You're in the minority. Know that. I'm not. You're in the minority. You're in the minority. Okay? All right. So we've come to the conclusion. Saquon Barkley's not going to take you across the finish line to win a Super Bowl. He's not the determining factor. He's been the only addition you added that was the biggest. Will we not agree he's the biggest addition that you added in the offseason? Is that fair? Okay, Sue. Sue, would you agree, Sue, that Barkley was the biggest addition you had this offseason? Is that correct? Is he? I think CJ or Love will overtake. Yeah, right. Whatever. We'll see. Barkley is the biggest acquisition that you made. Okay? Right. Overall, senor, overall, they're a bigger guy. I'll trade Hurts for Ali Heartbeat. I think you're meaning Allen. New York minutes, go Birds. Josh Allen, regular season hero, crunch time 0. Really? Crunch time versus Mahomes. You guys are stupid as it comes. You're losing you're beating Brock Purdy and Dimes Jones and losing to Mayfield. This guy's playing Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson in playoff situations. And now they've got CJ in that conference. Give me a break. That's like telling me, hey, listen, Sells, it doesn't really matter the quarterback play and the level of quarterback play in the AFC Championship. Let's just take last year's AFC Championship. Brock Purdy versus Jared Goff. Not horrible. In the AFC, you had Mahomes and the MVP. You had 2 MVPs in that game. The regular season MVP and the Super Bowl MVP in the AFC Championship game. By the way, that's not an excuse. Those are facts. You're playing higher quality football. Coaches, John Harbaugh versus Andy Reid. John Spagnuolo, or Steve Spagnuolo, excuse me. And in the NFC, you had Dan Campbell and Kyle Shanahan. Not horrible. But John Harbaugh is a Super Bowl winning coach. Look at the amount of Spagnuolo is a 4-time defensive coach of the year, or 4-time Super Bowl DC. Reid has won 3. Mahomes is the reigning Super Bowl back-to-back MVP. Lamar Jackson has won 2 MVPs before the age of 26. And you're talking about losing to Baker Mayfield is on the same level as that. Hey, once again, keep sitting in the stands and throwing your pom-poms around. One day you'll get it. Hey, the level. Okay, so like, you think that's the same kind of win, beating Mayfield or losing to Mayfield, as it is losing to Mahomes in the NFC or in the AFC Championship game? If you took the top quarterbacks in the NFC and you started ranking them down the list, the top guy would be 6th. 5th. Come on now. All right. We're going to do something here. Please, guys, hit the like button here. Let's do this. CBS came out with something. Where's that list? CBS came out with something. The top offenses. What's harder, beating the 49ers or Justin Herbert? Beating the 49ers. For sure. That's why they made it to the Super Bowl. But you had a quarterback who finished third in passing, 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, led the NFL in completion percentage. We're not talking about a stiff at quarterback. We're talking about a guy who moves the ball around better than your guy in Philly, too, Des. Had the least amount of attempts. And in the top 10, the most passing prolific passer was Brock Purdy a year ago. Jalen is not a good playoff quarterback. He had a great Super Bowl. In the 5 games, his best game was clearly the Super Bowl. The rest of them were mediocre to below average at best. Think about him. He's played one playoff game where he was really good, and it happened to be the Super Bowl for sure. The 1 out of 5, it is clearly the most important. The rest of them, they were below average. Look at them. I mean, Jalen Hurts' postseason career is nothing to write home about. The Super Bowl was great. The other 4 games were below average. And the best game he played, he lost. Is that not a fact? I mean, you're making it sound like when Allen played against, what was it, Mahomes in that playoff game where they were throwing back and forth and it was an ultimate shootout. This guy's never been involved in that outside of, again, the Super Bowl was a really great performance. The other 4 games were not. And he's 0-3 on the road. I mean, I don't know. Don't you want to see more in the postseason from this guy? Or no, you've already sold. 1 playoff game out of 5. It happens to be the biggest. Let me tell you this. If he had played like that in the NFC title game and didn't play like that in the Super Bowl, people would have a different opinion of him. For sure. Because his playoff performances have been dog shit. Not been great. They beat completely different narratives. But hey, that's not what happened, and I don't like talking like that. Okay? That's a fact. He's played one, because somebody goes, Sills, he played great. I think it was Xander even. Sills, he played great. He did. The other 4 games, he stunk. Well, not stunk. They were common. Anybody could have did that. Those were fair performances. I mean, did he throw for over 200 yards in any of those games? Maybe. I don't remember. Because they're very underwhelming. Game against the Giants wasn't anything. The Niner game wasn't anything. The 2 Bucks games have been atrocious. You had Troy Aikman screaming at him in the booth to tell him to spread the ball around. He couldn't do it. Okay? Calvin goes, Sills, your man crush in Allen is annoying. It's not a man crush, dude. He's just a better ball player. Dude, he was below average in that quarterback play in New York when he played the Giants. Sills, would trading for Max Crosby get us to the Super Bowl? I like that move, man. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Senor goes two Bucks games. Aikman was saying, yeah, that was the Brady game. Well, Shane Steichen got a job as the Indianapolis head football coach. So he couldn't have done that bad a job. And I think that Indianapolis team is going to have really some pretty good opportunities to go far in the playoffs, depending on what the war of attrition looks like. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Okay, here's CBS's offenses, and I'm going to give you mine. On the top offenses in the National Football League, here's CBS's. First and foremost, where do you think the Eagle offense ranks, in your opinion, with the national NFL media? Where do you think they think your Eagle offensive skill set talent right now? Where do you think they think? How high would you think that they believe you are right now when it comes to the roster on May 31st? Look, nobody knows how good you are yet. Okay? Nobody knows how good. Nobody knows how good anybody is. Well, maybe the Chiefs. Top 3, top 8. Top 12, top 8. Number 1. Good. Okay. This is what people think of your roster on offense. Here's CBS, and I'll give you mine then. Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. Can't debate it. The coaching on that team supersedes any deficiencies they may have at wide receiver. Get this. Their coaching overcomes their poor wide receiver or their high grade of talent at wideout. That's how good they are in coaching and the quarterback. They're so good at quarterback that it doesn't matter who plays wideout in KC. Can you imagine if the latitude that Philly could have if they didn't have to have two $25 million receivers? Imagine how great he is compared to Hurts. There lies the difference financially. Dude, paying Mahomes $48 million is not the number you're looking at. They don't pay backs $10 million in KC. They don't pay wide receivers $25 million. They pay one tight end. And that's it. They pay the tight end and they pay the quarterback. And at the end of the day, it's feasibly and financially fiscal in Kansas City because you know why? They're not spending $175 million in their offensive huddle. That's how fucking great that offense is with Mahomes. That's his underlining and what people don't get, his financial impact that he has on the salary cap. It's not that he's so great. It's also his impact on the cap. You don't have to spend money with him. Isn't that something amazing? That's the difference between him and everybody else in the league as well, not just Jalen. He's so far ahead that he affects the cap. Dude, most of these quarterbacks affect the cap in a negative way. This guy affects the cap in an insane way on the positive side. Jalen was never supposed to be the starter, correct. But that's okay. Neither was Brady. Philly fans didn't want this guy, true. He's just a dude to the media. Drop back quarterback. It is. Once again, they didn't draft Brady. Brady was going to be a backup quarterback in New England. Nobody saw that. They just gave Bledsoe $100 million. My friend, thank you for the super chat. You're paying a guy $50 million, two guys $25, a back $10, your tackles all that money. His impact on that roster and salaries is insanity. They spend $2 million a year in running backs and no money in wideouts. That's the secret underlining thing. And Kansas City was 14th in points, and they won back-to-back Super Bowls. That's why they're the number one offense. Can't stop them. With all your money. Number 2, CBS has the 49ers as the number 1 or number 2 offense in pro football. Yeah, the quarterback spreads the ball around better than Jalen does. His numbers dictate that. And the coach. That's going to come to an end now. Number 3, according to CBS, number 1 offenses in the NFL. I only got 10 of them. I'm not going down 32. The Detroit Lions. CBS thinks that the Detroit Lions have a better offense than you. Not me. This is Pete Prisco and all those guys who vote for all the all-pro teams. They got the Lions. Well, the quarterback as a passer in that offense is a better skill set because he gets the ball to everyone. He's a 4,000 perennial passing guy. I'll tell you something. Jared Goff has got a sneaky good career going on. He's a really reliable and dependable player. And at that position, reliable and dependable, stable and consistent is what that guy is. You may not like him. You may not think he's elite. He's better than you. I'd say he's better than 96% of the quarterback play in this league. And, right, RTF, and they got great play calling. Right? Christopher goes in, the Rams said beat it. So let me ask you this. Who do you think the Rams would rather have right now for the future of their football team, Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford? They were trying to trade him this past offseason. They wanted him to take a pay cut. They just gave Goff a $53 million raise. Who do you think the Rams would rather have back? You're not building your football future with Stafford. Detroit's building their future with Goff. Goff's not been in the league 10 years. I don't think. Maybe 8. You're going to build your team with Jared Goff. He's got a sneaky career. Sneaky career going on. Number 4, CBS has the Eagles here. Okay, it's opinion. I mean, cherry pie, apple pie. Okay. Number 5, the Bengals. I think the loss of Joe Mixon, but they've added some other components. Number 6, tie. Rams and Texans. I actually like the Texans more than the Rams offense, but you got 2 great play callers, Slowick and Sean McVay here. Number 8, the Packers. Whew. They get Devontae Adams. Good night. Packers will move immediately up inside the top 3 if they get Devontae Adams. How good they are. Number 9, the Dolphins. And how funny is this? According to CBS, 10th best offense in pro football, the Buffalo Bills. Gee, how can that be? How can the Bills, according to CBS, be the 10th best offense without Stephon Diggs? Is it the quarterback? Who's playing wide receiver in Buffalo? Can someone help me? Does Buffalo have any wide receivers, or is it just the quarterback? They got the Bills 10th with no wideouts. Not me. Not me. I didn't put Bills 10. Good things are just opinion. Hey, are we going to see Allen regret? No, we're going to see him expand his game. Now, here's my takes on the top offenses in pro football. My takes on the CBS list. I think you'll be shocked. Number one, until otherwise knocked off the perch, the Kansas City Chiefs are the number one offense in pro football. No matter what you do, no matter how much money the Niners and Eagles spend, you ain't beating them. You're not beating them in Super Bowls. Until other teams come up with something, you're not beating them. These teams have turned it around in the last 20 years. Lions, Browns, Bengals, Texans, Bills. They were paper bag gang. Oh, absolutely. Well, you would have to think that because they're drafting so high for so many years. Okay? They might have 1,500 yards, but only 10 touchdowns. TD matched that with lesser yards. Winning is defense and offense. Eagles got a better Florida State wide receiver. Well, shall see. If he's so good, why'd he go in the 7th round or 6th round? Or third round, this kid Smith? Can he flick it? Will be the flavor of the month by week 10 in Philly. Number 2, on the Big Sil's best offenses, top 10. I got the 49ers. Better passer of the football that fits that skill set better. Less turnovers. Had a great 2023 season. The entire offense was fantastic, including McCaffrey. McCaffrey is probably the best player in that huddle. You know, if you're going to rank, I mean, hey, we would all agree. Hurts was not in the same room with Purdy last year. They annihilated him. They were not in the same room. They weren't even in the same conversation by season's end. Not even close. Guy led the NFL in completion percentage, 4,200 yards, 30-plus touchdowns. 150 less attempts to Mahomes. Crazy. Crazy good year for him. And he's 17-4. And he's 5-2, is it? Or 3 in the postseason? 2 straight NFC championship games. I would say McCaffrey's the best guy in that huddle, though. Maybe Trent Williams. I mean, McCaffrey's not going to the Hall of Fame yet. Trent Williams is. So you probably go Trent Williams, McCaffrey. Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, then Purdy. Probably how you'd go. Well, same with Hurts. If you're going to look at the huddle for the Eagles, number 1 guy would be AJ. Number 2 would be Lane. Number 3 would be Malata. Number 4 would be Devontae. Number 5 would be Landon. 6 probably Hurts. Then Saquon. If you start that conversation off and your quarterback's not number 1, you got a problem. Kansas City, who's the number 1 guy? Kelsey? I don't think so. Who's the number 1 guy in San Francisco? If it's not Purdy, you got a problem. There's your problem in San Fran. As good as that guy is, he's not good enough. That's such it's almost like no matter how much money or what you do, it doesn't matter. Number 3, best offenses in the National Football League, Big Sil's top 10. I got the Bengals. Now, this is with an asterisk here. This is all on Burrow. I love Zach Taylor. I love the job they did with Jake Browning, and I love how they won games. But, dude, Joe Namath Burrow, if he stands up, they'll be in the AFC title game. If he plays 17 games, they'll be in the AFC title game. He's the only guy that is shown to beat Mahomes in games that matter. And, look at this right here. Bengals had no O-line. I know he took a Super Bowl with the 28th worst ranked O-line to the Super Bowl and was a quarter away from winning it himself with the Bengals. It's a great quarterback. But again, Joe Namath Burrow has to stay healthy. I got the Eagles 4. I do not believe the Lions are better than the Eagles offensively. I think they can be. I think there's a chance that they could have a really great year compared to even a year ago, but until otherwise advertised, the offensive line and the wide receivers in Philly, they're the catalyst in that conversation as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Number 5, I got the Lions. Again, Jared Goff, sneaky good. Number 6, I got the Texans. Adding Stephon Diggs on the other side of Nico Collins, and now you have Joe Mixon running the ball for you. He's a 1,000-yard back. They've improved with O-line, and plus you have one of the best left tackles in football in Jeremy Tunsil. You got Slowick as a play caller and DeMeco Ryans as a head coach. That's a damn good-looking football team, and guess what? The most important thing with the Texans, they are young. That is a young-looking football team. Just a young team, man. Look at Brian. Best team in Texas is the Texans. I happen to agree. Number 7, I got the Rams here. Sean McVay, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. Absolutely sensational. I just think he's the best play calling head football coach in the NFL next to Andy Reid. Number 8, Matt LaFleur showed me what kind of coach he is. Guy's an innovator. The guy's a developer of quarterbacks. He looks like he's easy to get along with. My only problem is that conservative. He is Andy Reid, Philly right now. I don't believe Matt LaFleur is going to be the coach yet until he goes somewhere else other than Green Bay. He's too conservative. We're 2 minutes into a half, and he's too conservative at the end of ball games, and they cost him big games. He is a really good coach, but I think he's conservative, and I think he has to do more when it comes to coaching. Okay? Number 9, I got the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel. Just sensational. The real question is, will the Dolphins win a Super Bowl with 2 wide receivers? And are you going to – and let me say this to you. What does paying those 2 wideouts mean to Tua? Do you think they're setting this team up for Tua? Or do you think that they're setting this team up for someone else? With these contracts with Waddle and with Tyreek Hill. Now they got Odell Beckham down there too in the slot. Are they setting this up for someone else? It's a pretty damn good looking offensive unit. And they can run the ball with those 2 backs they got. You're going to pay a guy $50 million. Boy, I'll tell you, that's going to be an interesting conversation. I like that, Eagle fan. Dak Prescott in Miami. with Mike McDaniel, that could be something that could happen. That might look decent. That might look decent. And number 10, I got the Ravens. Todd Monken, MVP, Lamar Jackson. Now you got Zay Flowers. You drafted another kid. Your tight end, sensational. You got the legendary Derrick Henry. I got them 10. What's the one thing you know? So here's my 10. Chiefs, Niners, Bengals, Eagles, Lions, Texans, Rams, Packers, Dolphins, Ravens. What's the one thing you notice about my list compared to the CBS list, who has Chiefs, Niners, Lions, Eagles, Bengals, Rams, and Texans tied at 6. 8 is Packers, 9 is Dolphins, 10 is Bills. What's the one thing you notice here? On my list, I don't have the Cowboys or the Bills in my top 10. Just so you know that I'm fair. I do think Josh has got to show that he can carry a football team like Mahomes. I do think that. I think he's got a really good back in Bush, and I think that kid Kincaid, that tight end they have, is outstanding. Will that be enough to move the sticks? Remember something. They beat the living shit out of the Dallas Cowboys with 14 passes. So they proved to you they don't have to be a prolific passing team to beat you. They have to be an efficient team to beat you. I think that was the biggest lesson that Josh Allen learned last year, going from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady in the offensive coordinator's role. He realized he doesn't have to throw the ball 37 times to win a ball game. The Philadelphia Eagles haven't figured that out yet. Can you imagine showing up to a meeting in Philadelphia on a Monday if Jalen Hurts had thrown 14 passes? Do you believe, Nick? And still won. What do you mean he's not a winner? He's won more ball games than Hurts. He's got a higher win percentage than Hurts. What do you mean he's not a winner? There's nothing he's done more except get to that Super Bowl, which is a big deal. But as a player, he's done nothing compared to that guy. I mean, Dak, absolutely. Bills Cowboy game doesn't really say much to me because the Cowboys performed poorly against teams with winning records last year. Well, that's not on the Bills. And the Cowboys had just come off of beating the shit out of the Eagles in Arlington. You couldn't carry any of that momentum into that Buffalo game up in Buffalo. They got the hell kicked out of them up there with a 1962 offense where they ran the ball and threw the ball. They had 7 completions in that game. How do you get beat in an NFL football game in 2023 with 7 completions? You don't think that that's right? And once again, what happens if the Eagles had done that kind of performance and Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni had only thrown the ball 4 times and there were 7 completions in a game and they had beaten the Cowboys 31-7? Do you think the front office would still be bitching about that? Yes or no? Isn't this the shit you guys were telling me when we first came on the air 3 years ago? That Doug used to have to fight every Monday or Tuesday with ownership and Howie? And this is the kind of shit you guys told me that this went on? They're more, get this. Here's another hurdle that the Eagles have. They're more concerned with optics on how people think of them and how they approach game plans. The PR department takes care of how you look at them and think of them. And the analytics department in the front office takes care of how they approach games. It's complete control of your organization and your locker room. So when you're a coach in the room, this is why these guys have no say. There lies your problem why you're 1-3 in those games instead of 3-1. Don't you get what I'm doing here? I'm showing you the difference between greatness and just being good. You guys are really good. The Eagles are such a well-run organization in so many ways. You do so many things great. No one's debating that. No one's really debating. I'm not debating that. What I am debating is how you control the locker room, how you control the game plan. And your results are a reflection of it. You care more how you win games and the look of it. And also you care more about how people think of you, like not asking Hassan Reddick questions or bitching about a 14-10 game that you beat Atlanta in or whatever that score was. We won the game. Who gives a shit? You won the Super Bowl with one strip sack. Did you care the optics of that? I mean, right? It's not college football where you have to get voted in for the Final Four. And it's like a beauty pageant. You got to play yourself into championship settings. Lori's kid needs to stop interjecting his dime story analytics into the front office. JM, you've got to work around that because that's going to be something that's going to happen and go and get even stronger. And there's going to be even more of a political push. By the way, you understand, Alex, that the next general manager of your football team is going to be Julian Laurie. He's going to run the team the same way Stephen Jones runs the Dallas Cowboys now. He's going to be a senior executive vice president of football operations or some shit that's going to oversee all that. That's his next job title. Hey, by the way, he has every right to do that. It's his team. And I would even make this point to you. If I were coaches and front office people, I would learn to live with that dynamic and learn to move around that dynamic. That's why Nick is still in the building, because Nick knows how to work around that dynamic. That's what makes him good. Eagles need to bounce back from a 1-7 collapse mentally before you do anything next year. Your roster hasn't changed that much. DFW, they don't see it that way. They have amnesia, the Eagle fans. They completely have amnesia. They think they've upgraded. I don't. I do not. I don't think that Bryce Huff is an upgrade to Reddick. And if I was going to make one place, probably safety with Gardner. The rest of them, it's no upgrade. You did upgrade Chris. Watch where Chris says the upgrade. Huff is not an upgrade. Christopher, you think that Bryce Huff is a better football player than Hassan Reddick? Watch this. You want to laugh? Folks, you want to laugh? Hey, Chris, is Huff a better player than Reddick? Yes or no? At this point, yes. What's he done better than him? He doesn't start. He's never started a down in the NFL. Where are you getting that from, Chris? Did you just make, or did you make that up? It's okay if you made it up. Huff is not better in terms of Reddick's career or last year. How about we just do last year where he had his best year? He wasn't even better than Reddick last year. Chris, last year he wasn't even better. And you gave a guy more money who wasn't better than the guy you replaced. Can you please explain that? You gave a guy more money who had a lesser year than Hassan Reddick did. And you replaced him with a guy who had a lesser year than Hassan Reddick did. And Reddick had a cast on his hand for the first month. I'm not even going to go into the shitty coaching at the end of the year. Please, can you explain that? What do you mean, flexing? We'll see. That's what happened. You paid a guy more money this offseason for a guy who had a lesser year than Reddick did a year ago. Those were facts. Reddick is going to dominate with the Jets. I believe you're correct, especially with those corners over there. The guy we have is a one-hit wonder so far. Yeah, but they'll tell you he's an upgrade. And I even heard John McMullen say that. Reddick wouldn't play. He's a diminishing player. Where do you see diminishing? He's had, over counting the playoffs, 30 sacks in 2 years. Where in the world are you getting that from? A diminishing player? How? Wait, I see. So the shitty coaching affected Jalen, but not Hassan. Talk about excuse machine. I'm talking to Twiz. Okay. Thanks, Flexen. I mean, would you guys agree? You paid a guy more money than a guy who had the better year a year ago, and you replaced him with a lesser player. Just in production alone. Is that a fact? You know, it's funny. LJ keeps bringing that thing with Huff up. And he was I thought you were going to keep Huff and Reddick. Now that you got just Huff, it's a shitty move. And by the way, 99.9% of you in here were telling me that the Eagles were going to give Hassan Reddick a contract extension. Instead, they moved him for nothing. Hey, how about this? Anthony, did you not think they were going to keep Reddick? Anthony, did you think they were going to keep Reddick? What issues with him, senor? His production? The position coaches are huge upgrades? Yeah, Pickin', that's like the first time people have brought that up. You're right. I think the linebacker coaches and the DB coaches and the D-line coaches, look, I love Tracy, but I do think Clint Hurt is an upgrade. Yes. Sills, you said to trade him because he couldn't fit the scheme and stop the run. Yeah, because I thought you were going to go out and get yourself an edge rusher that could do that like Brian Burns. Instead, you passed on him. And that would have only cost you a 2 and a 5 and $20 million. $2 million more. $3 million more. You didn't do it. Why? You didn't have to give a 1 for him. Shit, last year the Rams were offering 2 number 1s for Brian Burns in Carolina. Now he's up in New York, and New York looks like they have the best D-line in the NFC East. How many people in here believe that Hassan Reddick was going to be on this football team come September? How many people? Yeah, and by the way, Anthony, that's the upgrade, Anthony, that I'm talking about. You bring Burns, put him on the other side. How would this have looked, Anthony? Burns on one side, Reddick on the other side, and Carter and Davis in the middle. How would that have looked? Versus Nolan Smith and Huff. And Milton Williams playing one of your ends. Right? Best D-line in the East, maybe top 3. Correct. Correct. Yeah, I don't have the Bills and the Cowboys in my top 10 offenses. I don't know where Dallas is going to get their run game from. All right. Before Xander at the bottom of the hour comes aboard, please keep hitting the like button. Thank you very much. So I heard something today that kind of troubled me. Let me find that. It's from Jordan Davis. And I thought this was a little troubling. Jordan Davis is 350 pounds, and I believe he was at the podium when he addressed this. Right now, I'm getting into the best shape that I possibly can get in. These OTAs are helping me get into really good shape. What do you make of that comment? What do you make of that comment? He's 350 pounds, and I'm getting into the best shape I possibly can get into. What do you make of that? This guy's fucking lazy. He's fucking lazy. He's lazy. The most gifted guy on that D-line might be him. Senor goes, where do you get that from? The Philadelphia Eagle Twitter page. He's fucking lazy. Here. Let me see if I can bring that up. Jordan talking about him being 350 pounds. And I'm getting into the best shape. 350. Using the OTAs. Here we go. Davis said he's improved his diet and trying to be more active even in his off days, even if it just means going for a walk. He goes, I'm really looking forward to using this time to get into the best shape that I possibly can get into. Some guys are always going to fight weight. And I'll say this to you. He's a first and second down defensive player. He's younger, Sills. That's why Howie brought him in. I mean, dude, you can't get yourself into shape now. You have to be in shape. It's got to be a way of life. I think you meant bro, you can't be out of shape in today's NFL. You can't show up into shape a fat ass and not being able to get through drills. Get this. Prince and all of you are making excuses for a guy that's fat. He gave you the same bullshit last year that he was in shape. This is never going to change. Hey, Prince, keep making excuses up. You know why? It'll be the same result. He is not going to change. That is something built in you. You're either ready to go all the time or you're not. You're either ready to go or you're not. I'm going to get into the best shape I possibly can get into. On May 31st, are you fucking kidding? You're 3 months out from the start of Sao Paulo, Brazil against the Packers. Dude, talent is sometimes the most overrated word used in sports talk. You know why? Because most people don't fulfill it. It's facts. Dude, Jordan Davis might actually be more skilled and more talented than Jalen Carter. That play he had against Allen was insanity. Like a wildebeest chasing down, like a water buffalo chasing down like some deer. All right. It's Friday. I ain't got shit to do. And now it is time for my boy Xander Krause, who does Bird 365.
What's up, Big Sue?
What's up, my friend?
How you doing, brother?
I know you stay away from those White Castle burgers, dog. I mean,
I am not a White Castle guy.
Little too greasy for you, probably, right?
Nah, grease doesn't bother me. I'm just not particularly a White Castle type of guy. Barrett Brooks was. I remember that. But
oh, dude, he had a shirt.
luckily,
this
I'm
guy
not
had
paid
gear
to not
for
eat,
it, right?
What's up, everybody in the chat?
He had gear for it here. All right. Before we get started here on some questions here, I'm going to rank the Georgia Eagle guys. There's 4 of them so far on this football team. Just an overview assessment, what you've seen.
Yep.
Number 1, Jalen Carter. What do you think?
He's number 1. There's no doubt. No doubt about it. Number 1. What 4 are you doing? Nakobe, Jalen, Jordan, and Keely Ringo?
Yes. Jalen Carter, Keely Ringo, Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith. Okay?
Yeah.
Jordan Davis.
2. Definitely 2 for me. Right?
Okay, now who's 3 or 4?
Keely Ringo, I have 3. Nakobe Dean's done a whole lot of nothing. Keely Ringo hasn't done much either, but he's also a 4th-round pick. He's projected to potentially have a role. He's also very young, bro. He just turned 21, and he got drafted last year. Like, he's a young player, and he has a lot of great physical attributes that could pan out to be a corner. So I guess you could say I'm putting him at 3 on projection, but Nakobe Dean.
You know what? It's almost now become like too much to go into anymore because you just don't want to sit here and bang on a guy. It's just
right.
What would he 3 years in now? Is this now 3 years into this thing or 4?
This will be his 3rd year, so you can kind of say this is a contract year for him.
So if I'm giving a grade, Jalen Carter, I think he's got.
We missed some super chats. Let's get to them real quick. Thanks, JM.
I give
Sorry,
Jalen.
Phils, it seems like you can't read or hear. He said his weight was a problem. He has been working on it the whole offseason. Read. So
Yeah,
Prince.
well, that's your interpretation, Jack Wagon. Okay, so Prince, that's how you fucking heard it. Big Sills hears it a different way, Junior. Let's get the other guy. These kids don't have love or dedication for the game. Your generation was different. Players became great because of hard coaching. Yeah, and a willingness to want to put the extra mile in. You know what that guy does?
Big too. That's why I like Vic Fangio. I like the old school coaching. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dean's an F. Nolan Smith's been a D. These Georgia Eagle guys better pan up this. I mean, it's time for these guys to step into the room here.
I think Jalen Carter showed that he's going to be a good player.
Yep.
Like I think I'm not worried about him. Now he is going to have a big increase in snaps. So he's going to have to be more game shape for sure and be able to do it for a longer period of time. And, you know, I keep having this talk about Jordan Davis on Birds 365. They like him. They're happy with him. They seem to be.
Of course they are, because he's Howie's 13th pick.
Yeah, but I think we are evaluating him a little bit differently. Now, John did say, look, he's going to line up in a 40 front. He will line up as a regular DT, which means he's going to need to rush the passer more.
He's not a 3 technique.
I know he's not.
I told Clint that. He's not a 3 technique.
The 50
you think Vita Vea is a 3 technique?
No, and they're very similar players, but they are going to line up 50 front, and we'll see. I think that's going to look great, by the way. Now, I don't know how much they're going to go to that, but.
So who's the 5 guys up front you got?
Jordan Davis at the nose, Jalen Carter, and Milton Williams. And then on the outside, you have Josh Sweat and Bryce Huff. That's pretty mean front.
I like the Josh Sweat out there on the.
Yeah, I like Josh Sweat. I part of me gets upset because I think he is so.
Dude, I'm not sold on Bryce Huff.
No, I'm not either. I mean, he's got to play so many more snaps this year, but
look, I would have been a fan of Bryce Huff with Hassan.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Right.
I still don't know why they didn't.
And they have the money to do that
in the locker room with Hassan Reddick.
Something. Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was Vic. Maybe Vic didn't like him because, you know, remember Hassan at the end of the season was like, I want to rush the passer.
Yep.
Then they Jeff McClain put out that piece of the Eagles were upset because all Hassan wanted to do was rush the passer. And I'm like, he's our edge rusher. What else should he want to do? So maybe Vic Fangio didn't want that. And that's why you bring in Jalix Hunt. Maybe.
Who?
Look at Barb chirping. Fucking Barb.
Who's Jalix Hunt? Oh, the guy from Colgate / Houston Christian Community College, Helen Keller University, Slippery Rock University. Oh, yeah, that guy. I remember now. High ceiling, and he's playing against bookworms and people who are librarians in the Ivy League.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
I think Jalix Hunt's going to be all right, though. I'm with you. It was a little bit of a reach, but I do think he's going to be good.
You do you? Okay. Yeah, because you know how he's really great at picking edge rushers. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Junior, here we go. So, what's your takeaways from OTAs?
Isaiah Rodgers. I think they got a problem at cornerback, and it's a better problem than they had last year. Who are they going to cut, Dan? That room is deep, man.
Hey, let me tell you. You know what I kept doing to you? Hey, fuck this Isaiah Rodgers. So I talked to a couple dudes, and you know what he said?
Yeah, he could play.
Hey, Dan, I don't know what that guy did on his time off, but he came back. His pedal steps are great.
Yeah.
His turns are great. He's great in the hips. Hey, somebody, holy cow, James.
Holy moly.
We got to bust that goddamn thing up here. Look at it. Look at old James here.
Please tell me it's $50 to chirp you. That would be fantastic.
Please tell people how Davis's 45-degree angle and lineup allows him to get hips and gap immediately, unlike just get a hat on somebody. BC hips allow him to immediately break double teams with hips, like pick and roll, run into whatever way to maintain the wall. Okay, he's talking about tilting him. and putting him in a position to where strength of schedule or strength of the formation is. So am I right, James? James, write it down at the bottom down here. You want to tilt him either on the 3 or on the nose. Is that what you want to do? Or you want to tilt him on the nose, because that's the way Mean Joe Green played too. And a little bit of Aaron Donald, they tilt him. So if you tilt him, that means you have to have exceptional linebacker play behind him to be able to keep those scrape lanes and not to get off on the plane. So, James, is that what you're saying? You want to tilt him on the nose? I could see Vic tilt. They do Vita Vea like that too. They tilt him on that nose like that. So I think Vic's going to put him in a position. Xander, to me, with him on the nose, I'm giving him a second reprieve of life.
I think he's going to be good at the nose, dude. He's perfect mold for it, and he's a little bit more athletic than some of your average noses, where he does have that speed, that closeout speed. You know, everybody remembers the Josh Allen play. I think he's going to be great at that position, but he does need to take a step forward as a pass rusher, especially if they're going to use him in a 40 front
or a 5 front. Hey, put James's other one up here, right here, because this is his follow up here. Basically, he allows a tilt on shade and then slides the backside double to slide. They run that tilt off shade last year every snap. Hey, James, you must have played. Because that's exactly correct. You must have played, because that's how the tilt works. Now, your ends have to set the edge exceptionally well. That's why, for me, Bryce Huff over there in that corner, and he's not really good against the run, not being able to set the edge, that is going to be the key to that if you want to tilt him. I'm good, James, with tilting him. That would put him in a position. What he means like this, Xander, say their strong side over here. He wants to tilt him from a weak side, and most teams are going to run to the strong side set. Well, that puts him in a momentum to be able to push that line down the scrimmage. And what he's doing is he's keeping the line of scrimmage intact and not gaining yards. If he sits here like this in a normal 3, like you said John's going to do, that means he's going to get a hat on him. Well, he got knocked off the ball quite a bit last year towards the end of the year. And what happens? Look at this. When you get knocked off the ball and you're 2 yards deep, what happens? Well, that linebacker's got to slide back. And when you slide back more, before the running back even gets into the A gap or in the off the 3 hole, you're 4 yards back. You're giving 4 yards of carry up before the guy even hits him. How the hell did Sapp stay in shape? Sapp was like Jerome. But here, it's a great question. Hey, Wrench, you know how those guys stayed in shape? He took plays off. That's how Jerome, hey, don't think Jerome played every down in Philly 100%. Jerome would take 4 or 5 plays off, and they were pacing themselves. Okay? Sometimes that's why Buddy used to get annihilated. He used to get so pissed off because you'd see Jerome just laying on a guy. Then the next 2 plays, he would tackle for loss, sack, fumble, strip. And you're like, can you play like that every down? He couldn't. And I don't think he can play that way. And I agree. Sapp was no Jerome Brown. He was close to Jerome, but Jordan Davis is not either of those guys. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind him in a tilt. I think that's a great call there. So, hey, back to your boy Isaiah Rodgers. Hey, dude, He's been the star of OTAs.
Yeah, John McMullen gave him his OTA MVP. Not that means much, but it is good. And I think it's interesting because Slay's getting old, man. And if they want to play Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean this year, Cooper DeJean hasn't played 1 snap in practice at safety. Like, that's going to be a tough thing to pan out. If you have Slay on one side, by the way, Ringo is apparently coming up. He's good. He's the guy who filled in for Slay yesterday when Slay was out. And now you have Quinyon Mitchell, you have Cooper DeJean, you have Keely Ringo, you have Isaiah Rodgers, Slay. Bradbury's going to be gone. I don't know, man. That's
what I would do if I was Keely Ringo? I'd be looking at what those 2 dudes did in the front office by drafting those two guys, I'd be sitting there going, fuck you. They're not taking my gig. That's my job.
Yeah.
And you know what? It creates competitive juices, dude. And that's how you create depth.
Yeah. That's how you create good players.
That's correct, man. You got to, if you're Keely Ringo, you have to realize that they don't think much of you.
They actually do think a lot highly of him.
How do you think much of them? How do you think much of him when they drafted two corners?
Well, that's true. I guess they don't think that much of him.
I mean, they could tell you all that
him
shit
or
they
Isaiah
want.
Rodgers, they didn't think much of because they did draft two quarters or corners.
But wait a minute. I just spent like the 40th pick and the 22nd pick, and you think I love you?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if he pans out, we're fine.
Oh.
Life after Slay, I can see Keely or Isaiah, I guess. To me, it looks like those are the two that are going to be fighting because Quinion was drafted in the first round. He's probably going to get the benefit of the doubt from Jump Street. Maybe not, but probably. Slay on the other side. And then at nickel corner, I guess you could do Isaiah Rodgers.
Is Avonte Maddox make the team?
Yeah, he's going to make the team. And I think they're going to move him to safety.
Okay. Who plays in the slot? CJ?
No, CJ will be safety. It'll be CJ and Avonte. That's who it. Now CJ was out.
That's
yesterday.
my dream. My dream is CJ and who did we say just now?
Yeah, I think Rodgers might play the slot.
And then get this. And then my corners are Mitchell and Slay.
And then Isaiah in the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. Now you're not going to get the Cooper on the field, but I guess that's fine, right?
Well, he's going to get snaps though.
Yeah, he'll get snaps, but if he's not in the starting lineup, he's not going to get that many snaps.
Question for you: is Bradbury on the team tomorrow afternoon?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, look, we just talked about it. We didn't even include Bradbury in this conversation. I think he's gone, but I just wonder if Howie's going to try and hold him and wait for somebody to have an injury in camp.
Supposedly the Cardinals have an
him, right? JG, yeah, he was good under JG actually.
You think they keep him?
Are we looking at the JG era wrong in Philly?
I don't know, man. Please don't do that to me.
I'm just wondering. Hey, I know we lost the Super Bowl, but 70 sacks. I mean,
they knew how to use Reddick.
They knew how to use Reddick. They weren't bad in pass. They weren't bad in run. I mean, they were a solid defense that year. Well, we got two supers.
Hurts is the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, Alex, I'm with you. And Bradbury's got to be gone. I'm wondering if they're even wondering what to do with Slay at this point.
Look at this guy here down here. This
Hurts is the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. We might have to pump the brakes on that one, buddy.
Best quarterback of all time. I've never seen anything like it. All right, so let me ask you this on your boy Barkley here. Is he the linchpin that carries the Eagles across the finish line to a Super Bowl?
I would say no. I would say Jalen Hurts is that guy. We're going to go as far as Jalen Hurts is going to take us this year. And I don't think Saquon Barkley is the make or break player for the team. I don't think they're going to use him. Are you insinuating if McCaffrey got hurt off Niners, they'd be done?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the same with Saquon at all here. I think it's going to more revolve on AJ and Jalen, but Jalen's got to be the guy, and he has to be great. If he's great, Saquon will get his numbers. He'll run the ball. Probably be a little bit of a bell cow back, maybe a closeout back. Remember, we had trouble closing out games last year.
True.
You know, we get a lead, and you get a lead. Now you have a 3-down back, and you can hand the ball off to Saquon, let him kind of run down the clock, and hopefully, get first down after first down. I don't think he's the linchpin, though. Do you?
No. Here's the last 4 years of Barkley here. He's averaged 16 carries a game, 64 yards a game, 180 carries a year, 725 yards a year. And he gets about 4 touchdowns a year. He averages about 36 catches a year for 235. He gets about 3 catches a game for 21 yards. And there's by far lesser talent in New York than in
Yeah,
Philly. I'm
definitely.
not disputing that. But
Yeah, and that does
you
matter for
think
running
that, well,
backs.
okay. So you think, though, that they're going to up the volume for
I
a
don't know if
guy?
they're going to up the volume, but I think they'll have better numbers per carry.
So you
He's
think
running behind
you think
Dan.
he improves
He's
from
running
that?
behind Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. I mean, if you could pick two offensive linemen to run behind, those two are probably in your top 10.
So you're expecting him to get 1,500 yards then?
I'm expecting 12 to 1,500. Yeah, I guess 13 to 1,500.
Which he's done once.
Is that what it's looking like?
Well,
for
no,
him?
no. I think he's got 1,300 yards twice. First year and I think 2 years ago.
What did this shit show me his career stats?
I think he did 13 2 years ago and his first
Yeah, but
year.
I think it's our original conversation, like one of the first times I was on. I don't know if it even matters, the stat. If he makes the impact on the game that we need him to make by taking some of the pressure off Jalen Hurts in the run game, especially early on first downs, get ahead of the sticks. How many times last year were we second and long, third and long? Those are
compared to
killers.
22, a lot.
Exactly. So, like, if we can get 1st and 6, every time, that's a big impact. Now, I mean, I'd love him to get 1,500 yards, but I don't think the offense lives or dies by him getting 1,500 yards. And I don't think they're going to pass to him much. I think they're going to some, but.
So his upgrade or his addition, you don't think gets him across the finish line? It has to be.
I think his addition improves the team, and I think the team is good enough to get across the finish line. That doesn't mean they're going to, but I think they're good enough. Do you think the Eagles have a good enough roster to win a Super Bowl right now? That doesn't include injuries. That doesn't include the ball not bouncing their way.
You're talking 22, starting 22.
No, I'm talking going into 24. No. You don't think so?
Nope.
So if the Eagles play their best ball, you don't think that's Super
I don't think they're
Bowl
good enough on defense, no, to stop people. No.
I don't.
You have amnesia from the last 3 months of the season going into this one. You're just excusing that.
No, I don't have amnesia on it. I think. I don't know. How much better is the defense this year or worse this year than it was in 22?
Well, I think you lose Fletcher and Hassan a ton.
Well,
that's 20 sacks. And you're telling me Nolan Smith and Huff and Devin White are going to take that number up?
Yeah, that's true. And the other big glaring one is the linebacker play. TJ Edwards was very good in Philly, and so was Kaiser White.
But would you not agree that TJ Edwards could easily be the most underrated Eagle player in the last 10 years that's played in that building?
Who?
TJ Edwards.
Oh, yeah. And I honestly think Howie regrets letting him walk. I don't know for sure, but I think Howie regrets letting him go. How do you let that guy go? He got paid $7 million a year, I think.
It was 7.5 by Chicago.
Yeah, like that's a guy that could have completely. You wouldn't have had to worry about the linebacker position at all for 3 years. He's only 27 still, right? By the way,
he's got 3 more years. And you see the year he had last year. Look at the numbers he had last. It's not like, get this. It's not like there was get this. TJ Edwards went to a shittier team and still put up the same numbers he put up in Philly.
Yeah, he signed. You know what he played for in Philly in 22?
$1.5 million.
2.2. Yeah.
Okay, 2.2 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You see how many tackles he had last year?
No, what do you have?
I think it was like 165 tackles. I think he was third.
Yes. He had 153 tackles. He had 159 for us in 22. Wow, another great season for him.
So wait a minute. So wait, the last 3 years he's had over 300 tackles.
Yep, 312 tackles and 5 sacks.
You think the entire linebacking core last year the Eagles had 300 tackles?
Now, here's the biggest thing. You ready? Here's the biggest stat on TJ Edwards. Last year, he played 97% of snaps. In 22, he played 94% of snaps.
He's reliable, and he's durable.
Reliable, durable, great instinct, great linebacker. I think he's the one that got away. Howie's upset about it. N'Kobe Dean we got way too excited for the guy. I don't know why. And remember, because during that draft, he was kind of like a first-round pick. The NFL only invites how many players to the event? Like 20 or 30 players they invite to be at the draft. N'Kobe was invited. Like, he was a first round, but a lot of people had him going first round. Then he kept falling and falling and falling. Turns out those teams might have been right.
Who do you think has been in the last 2 years a bigger loss? Isaac Seumalo, TJ Edwards, or Hassan Reddick?
Well, we can't quantify it. We don't know about Hassan yet. What if Bryce Huff puts up good numbers? What if Nolan Smith takes a step forward and you get the same production? Then all of a sudden the Reddick move doesn't look as bad. But I'm not going say a mile away. We'll get to him in a second.
For you too, we have to run to set up pass, or go like 22 and use run to close games instead of after lead. Shouldn't that decision dictate?
Yeah, it does, James.
Yeah,
it does. And my point is, I think they're going to do the latter of what you said, use the run to close out the game more than using the run to set up the pass. But the other circumstances, it might be both. I mean, if you're running him on first down and you get 4 yards and now you have a 2nd and 6 every time, that sets up the pass. That forces the defense to have to play you differently versus if you're in 2nd and long, it's a passing down no matter what. But I do think they're going to use him to close the game too. That's probably where they're going to – that's where he's going to get a lot of
time. Clock. Run the clock down.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Run the clock down. So you don't think Reddick, you think that is yet to be determined. Reddick's not going to be missed.
No, I didn't say that. I said we don't know yet because let's see what these guys do. I don't think they're going to be the same as Reddick, but I know what we lost with TJ Edwards. We went from TJ Edwards to I don't even know who last year after N'Kobe Dean. Zach Cunningham and Shaq Leonard and the island of misfit toys that sucked.
Nick
Morrow. Like, that was a loss. We had an instinctual linebacker in 22 that could plug the gaps.
Did you think that DeAndre Swift was an upgrade from Miles Sanders the year before?
I did for the running aspect or for the catching aspect, but they didn't use him like that. It's basically the same back as Sanders last year.
He had 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns his final year in Philly.
Sanders did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a bad Super Bowl. Sorry. That's the taste.
Okay. I love here. See Xander, and he's right to put that Super Bowl. Hurts had 4 shitty ball games in the playoffs, so really a great Super Bowl. Okay, I mean, hey,
play shitty in those playoffs,
dude. You think he was great in that Giants game?
No, but we also destroyed the 49ers. I mean, we still put up a lot of points.
Well in that game.
He didn't have to. We destroyed them, and he rode the pine.
Well in any of the Bucks playoff games?
Well, no, but the first one was his first year starting versus Tom Brady.
I know.
And yeah, Tom Brady's going to take a young gun to school. Tom Brady took Patty Mahomes to school, so don't even. All right, got to give him some slack on that one.
0-3 in the road, but it's
and last year was an unacceptable performance from Jalen Hurts.
Okay, all right, let's do this. Where would you rank the Eagle offensive talent in the NFL?
This is tough, man. This is a tough top 10.
So here's CBS's. The Chiefs are 1.
Which I don't agree with. I know they're going to be the 1, but you know what I mean? From a talent perspective, they don't have the most talent in the league on offense. Now, I guess
how can you dispute that when they've won 2 Super
Bowls?
No,
I'm not disputing that they're a great offense. I'm saying they don't have, like, Rashee Rice is not A.J. Brown. Rashee Rice is not Deebo Samuel, but they have Mahomes, so I guess he
Mahomes overshadows all that.
I know, he might. Okay, that's fine.
The 49ers are 2.
That's about where I'd have them.
Here, I don't know, but they got the Lions at 3.
Can't hate it. Lions got a good offense.
That's a great – hey, Xander, great take. You can't hate it because the golf was like 30 TDs, 4,500 yards. The receivers weren't insane. The back – hey, dude, you were right about the kid Gibbs. I didn't think he was that good at Bama.
Yeah, I love him. I mean, I thought I was a little biased because he's an Alabama guy, but the way he ran at Alabama was tremendous, and that's really translated to the NFL.
Don't they have that back from Chicago up there too?
Yeah, David Montgomery. Yep.
And they got him back, and plus that Laporte kid, that tight end.
Laporta, yep. He's great too.
That's
All
a
right,
good
wait,
looking group.
I want to put. What did you put at your top 10?
I'm going to give you my top 10 here in a minute, and I'll look at your top 10. We'll do both of ours here, and we'll look at
Okay.
we're doing the CBS's. They have the Eagles 4 here. Number
Okay.
5, they have the Bengals.
I don't know if I like that.
With Joe Namath Burrow. At 6,
I think the Ravens are a better offense than the Bengals.
At 6, they have the Rams and the Texans tied. I love that Texans offense.
A tie. What is this? It's a list, guy. Come on, give me a 6.
That's what I said. I go, how do you fucking fence
Wait, who was it?
straddle a
Rams
list?
and who?
Hey, how do you fence straddle a list? Rams and Texans.
Texans are a sleeper. Texans are going to be an upcomer for sure.
Number 8, the Packers.
Yep, they're another sleeper. I was going to put them in my sleepers on the outside of the top 5.
Number 9, the Dolphins.
I'm surprised the Dolphins aren't higher. Boy, that's a good offense.
They got a good, and you know what? Very underrated running back game. Number 10, they got the Bills. Bro, I don't even have the Bills. And I love Allen, and I don't have the Bills in my top 10. So
no, you don't have the Bills in your top 10?
Here, I'm going to do, so let's both do our
Wait. Before you give me it. You said Mahomes trumps it all.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Josh Allen trump a lot?
Because I have to see this.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Mahomes has shown you it over and over again.
He proves he doesn't need – Xander, get this too. Here's the underlining thing that I said in the first hour of the program, what that guy does. His impact on that football team is not just on the field. His impact is on the cap. You don't need to pay $50 million in receivers on that team. You know why?
It's true. You're paying him $55 million, but you're paying him $55 million, but you're right. You don't have to pay. You can get away with Rashee Rice at a couple mil a year.
Or Juju Smith-Schuster, because you know why? You're paying Reed 20 and you're paying the quarterback 50 and you're paying the tight end 15. The rest of them are just dudes.
Yeah,
now Humphrey's good. Creed Humphrey's good in that old line. Okay. Here is my top 10, and my top 10. I got the Chiefs number 1 until otherwise beaten. Their coaching and their quarterback is so good. Think about this, Xander. They've beaten the 2 best rosters in consecutive Super Bowls to win Super Bowls. If the 49ers and the Eagles have such a great offense, you still can't stop them.
Yeah, I can't. It's the Chiefs. I don't agree with. I'm not going to put them at 1 in mine, but I completely understand what you're
Who do you have 1?
49ers.
49ers.
Yeah, I think they're the most talented offense in the NFL.
I have them 2.
Okay.
And here's why. I think Purdy does a better job of getting the ball to all the weapons on the team than what Hurts does. He utilizes tight ends. He utilizes all the players around him and the key component. But here, and hear me out on this. Do I think he's the best guy in that huddle? Shit, he might be the 5th best guy, 6th best guy in that huddle, the 49er huddle.
Yeah.
You got Trent Williams. You got McCaffrey. You got Kittle. You got Debo. You got Ayuk. Then maybe it's him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but see, you could say the same thing about her. Okay, so I got Chiefs and 49ers. You got it. Who do you have 2?
I have the Eagles 2. Eagles 2 and Chiefs 3 for me.
I have the Bengals 3.
Oh, boy, I don't even have the Bengals in my top 5.
So you think T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, and
offensive line,
Jamar Chase.
Offensive line sucks.
Still got to the Super Bowl with that same line.
I know they still got to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean they're a top 5 talented offense.
They beat the fuck out of the Niners last year.
I just don't have them. I don't see it. I don't see it with Cincinnati.
You know that team that destroyed the Eagles and the Link? The Bengals destroyed them.
Was that early in the year last year when Joe was?
That was in the mid part of the season before he got hurt, bro.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, you're a Joey B guy. Okay. I like Joey B too, but I'm not giving him fourth best offense in the league. Come on.
I got the Birds 4. Who do you have 4?
4, I have Lions.
Not terrible. I got the Lions 5. Who do you have 5?
I have the Ravens 5.
Wow. Oh, so Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and a tight end they have, and O-line,
They got a good old line.
and they got Todd Monken, who's a really good
Yeah,
coordinator.
they have a great O-line. I think the Ravens are being slept on.
Well, I'll
a
tell you
little
what,
bit.
man. People are saying that the Lions have the best O-line in football with those two bookend
Yeah,
tackles.
those
With
lions
Ragnow in the middle there too. Now that Kelsey's gone,
Yeah.
he's probably the best center in the league.
definitely is. I would say is 100% the best center in the league, with Creed Humphrey probably a close second.
At 6, I got the Texans.
That's a good one. I like that.
Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon.
Let me do these last three for me, and I'll be able to.
Let me see. What's his name? Jeremy Tunsil at left tackle, Stroud at quarterback, and plus Bobby Slowick calling plays. And you got D'Amico Ryans. Boy, I'll tell you, that Texans team, they're by far the best team in Texas.
The Texans team is going to be nasty, dude. I'm telling you.
Dude, how about the gamble they made a year ago by trading up to get Will and Stroud?
I know. What a draft that was. Oh, my God.
I mean, both guys were offense and defensive, like, player of the year last year. I love Will Anderson. Dude, he's the best defensive player to come out of
All right, I got my 10.
Hey, I would say Will Anderson's the best player to come out of Alabama since Derek Thomas. Who's better? Guy who just won Defensive Rookie of the Year, too.
Yeah, he's gonna be tremendous.
I think he has a chance to be better than Cornelius Bennett.
Yeah, but how long ago was Derek Thomas?
Mid-90s?
Julio?
What?
Julio Jones? You're not going to put Julio Jones?
I'm talking defensively.
Oh, only defense. Okay, defensively. Yeah, then you're probably right.
Surtain, you've had?
Surtain is good.
That guy Jonathan Allen, I thought was going to do more. He hasn't.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like he's been so hindered by that team, man.
But what do you mean by the organization?
By the organization, yeah. They just suck out loud, and remember, he's been very like vocal about it. He's so sick of it. Now they're paying him a huge money there, but you're right. You're probably right. Jonathan Allen could have been better, especially if he came to a spot like the Eagles. Oh man,
or the Rams.
Or the Rams. I mean, anybody that develops defensive talent like that would have been great.
How about the Steelers? Right,
Steelers would have been great. Steelers are a good organization.
Just great.
Although I still will always knock the Steelers because they're all of a sudden like being 500 is like the greatest achievement you can have in
it's
football.
A great take. You're right. Oh, not having a losing season in the last 18 years.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all.
I'd rather have a 4-win season one year.
That sounds like some Cowboys stuff to me. Like,
yeah, a little bit.
I haven't won a title in 30 years, but we always
won 36 games the last.
We always win 9 games at least. Okay, I don't want to win 9 games. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'd rather lose 4 games one year, go to the Super Bowl the next year. Okay, I'd rather have that than have 3 9-win seasons in a row and go, hey, we're getting there. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Number 7, I have the Rams. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Stafford, the play caller, and McVay. O-line's improving.
That's pretty good.
They really, I tell you what, they got better also by the end of the year.
Okay, wait, I didn't give you my 6. 6, I have Bengals.
Okay.
7, I have Dolphins.
Okay.
I think they're being a little bit slept on, the Dolphins. They got a lot of players. Because of Tua. Yeah.
Well, I think it's because when they get in those big, tough games, they get put to sleep.
Yeah, but remember, this is a team that put up a 70 burger last year.
On the Broncos.
I don't care who it's on. It's on an NFL team. 70 points is unheard of in the NFL.
Okay.
Dude, that's like the MAC conference scoring. 70 points?
No.
That's like you turn on the TV at midnight on a Friday night and Hawaii's playing Southern Cal or some school.
No, it's like Ohio State playing Toledo.
I got the Dolphins. I got the Dolphins at 7, and I like that. I like that there. I think that you could argue they're closer to top 5, but I get why they fell.
I have the Packers at 8. Who do you have?
I have the Rams at 8.
You have what?
The Rams.
Rams. Okay. I got the Dolphins at 9 for what I just said. The reason I have them down there is because I want to see them in physically imposing games where they have to just run the ball down somebody's throat. That makes sense? I mean, every game they got in last year that was a physically imposing type, a reputation team. Like, get this. I thought the Eagles were going to have a tough time with that team. And that game was one of their easier games of the year with all that talent that they had. I was big time let down by them in that Eagle game. And it took some of the, because I thought they could be maybe a contender in the AFC. You know, I thought they had something, but then I saw the Eagles just walk through them, and they didn't even play an A game in that game, and they beat them up.
It's true. You're right about that. I'm on 9, right?
Yeah, who do you have?
I have the Texans at 9.
Pretty low.
Yeah. I don't see them. You could argue maybe they'd be better than the Rams, but
Do you want to see them again? You just want to see it again.
Yeah, right. I think I probably think they're a more talented offense than the Rams. But yeah, I want to see it again. I mean, 1 year is great, but you have a lot of young guys. Let's see how they do in year 2 together. And then 10, I have the Packers, who I kind of feel the same way about with the Texans. They got a lot of young guns. Jordan Love was great, but 1 year doesn't mean you're going to be a great NFL quarterback. So let's see. But they certainly looked apart. So those are my 10.
I got the Ravens 10.
Hmm.
Because I don't think they're a prolific passing team.
No, they're not.
And I think what happens to them is if you make them one-dimensional, they panic.
Well, you know why I think that changes this year?
Derrick Henry.
Yep. I think he is the absolute perfect fit with Lamar Jackson. And I would have said the exact same thing about if we signed Derrick Henry in Philadelphia. If Derrick Henry was in Philadelphia, the Eagles would be 1 on my list right here. Because I think he would make that much of a difference for the style of game we want to play. We don't want to throw the ball out of the backfield. A traditional running back like that, especially a guy like Derrick Henry's size and speed and athleticism and his stature, he's going to move the sticks consistently for the Eagles, make life tremendously easy for Jalen Hurts. Obviously, we didn't go that route. We went a little bit more of a versatile running back, not my style, but that's what they did. And now I think Lamar is going to benefit tremendously from Derrick Henry. I really do. I think he's going to have his best year yet as a quarterback. 2-time MVP winner is going to have his best year yet.
I think this is without a doubt one of the biggest misses that the Cowboys had this offseason was not. Yeah. And Derrick Henry wanted to play there.
He was like openly saying it, like they haven't called me.
Yeah,
and Barb says never his career. I don't know about that. I mean,
they never called, and he was like, I didn't get it. And so he goes, at the end of the day, though, you know, who would you rather play with, Lamar, or would you rather play with Dak Prescott? I'd rather play with Lamar. He gives me a better chance to win.
I mean, Barb says Henry's at the end of his career. He had 280 attempts last year for 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Well, if that's the case, so is Barkley then, because he was worse.
Barkley's further down.
Right.
I mean, the last 4 years, Derrick Henry's had.
You think Tennessee was a great team last year? No.
Yeah, the last 4 years, Derrick Henry's had over 5,500 yards of offense and double-digit touchdowns each of the last 6 seasons.
Come on, man. Barkley and Henry are not a conversation.
Man, that 2020 season for Derrick Henry, 2,027 yards, 17 touchdowns, 378 carries.
But look at the other year where he played
insane.
Look at the other year where he only played 9 games. And look how many yards he had in 9 games.
Yep, 937. So if you equate
that, that's another $2,000. And you want to hear something crazy? He finished 9th in rushing that year.
And he had 10
half
touchdowns.
the season.
9 games, he had 10 touchdowns.
He was on pace for another $2,000.
Wow, I didn't even realize that stipulation that he only played 9 games that year. I mean,
and finished 9th in rushing.
Only season in the last 6 seasons that he's not over 1,000, and he played 9. He played 9 games.
Right, and get this: he was 9th in rushing in the league that year.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Still 219 carries. We'll be lucky if
He's almost
Saquon
like
has
Justin
219 this whole
Jefferson.
year.
He's like the Justin Jefferson of like
Yeah.
running backs, where Jefferson had 9 games last year. He had 1,100 yards. Are you going to pay him $35 million?
Ooh, it looks like they're gonna, right? I mean, somebody's gonna. Might not be me, but somebody's gonna do it.
Couple more questions.
Wait. If you were him though, would you
I'm not
sign
staying
it?
there.
No, right?
No.
But
I'm
then
not
what do you have
staying
to
there.
risk? What do you have to risk though? Now I have to play out my whole 5 years in Minnesota and wait to get the money.
Yeah, right. So what I'm going to do is play my option year out.
You think that's leaving a lot of money on the table?
Well, wait a minute. Whoa, wait.
Think about it though. Listen, I get what you're saying, and I would rather do it too, but stipulate in how much money this is, how life-changing it is. If one thing goes wrong, if one catastrophic injury, the NFL changes, man, like quick.
You said something just now, though. So right now, the top salary is $32 million. What do you think the top salary is going to be after next year's offseason for a wide receiver of his talent, Justin Jefferson, if he has 1,500 yards? Say he has a normal Justin Jefferson year of 1,600 yards and 10 touchdowns. What do you think that market's going to be for him at his own place in Minnesota and also on the open market, knowing full well he played his option and played the option out and you go like this? What do you may have to pay him 50. He might make quarterback money.
We really at $40 million wide receivers? We're getting close, aren't we? 32. We're right there.
Look how far. Hey, what was the initial sign for AJ Brown 2 years ago?
4 years, 100 million.
Okay, so it was 25 million.
It was 25, like basically flat. Yeah.
Okay, so in 2 years, he's basically at it. That salary's gone up $8 million annually.
Right. 2 years later, he signed $32 million a year.
Okay, well, so
in
if
another
I'm
2
Justin
years,
Jefferson, do I want to sign a contract that'll be outdated by the time I play next year?
Yeah, remember you ripped Devontae Smith for waiting. If he plays next year on a what would it be, an $18-20 million tag, he's leaving $20 million on the table, $22 million on the table.
$20 million on the table versus me making an additional 15 a year.
True, but isn't he going to make that anyway?
But why do I have to be in Minnesota to make it?
This is why teams want to play in Philly, or players want to play in Philly. AJ Brown could have said the same thing when he signed. Wait a second, do I want to play out this contract here and then I'll get 120, an extra $5 million a year? 2 years later, the Eagles are like, I'll give it to you anyway.
Can you imagine Howie Roseman going, I'm going to make a trade for Justin Jefferson. You bring that guy and you cover all your Jalen Reagor bullshit and all that stuff. Holy cow, man.
If he did that, we'd have a quarterback problem. You can't get we don't have that style of quarterback.
That's right. You don't. Okay. Bryce Huff or Nolan Smith? Who do you think has a better year?
Bryce Huff better have a better year. Nolan Smith.
This guy's the 31st player taken.
Yeah, but we're counting like we signed Bryce Huff because no one did. Yeah, we are counting on Bryce Huff. We need Bryce Huff. You could argue our defense hinges on Bryce Huff's production to some extent. If we have nobody on the outside who's getting to the quarterback,
who do you think is more instrumental in the defense this year? Bryce Huff, Nolan Smith, or Quinyon Mitchell?
Bryce Huff. If you said Bryce Huff or Jalen Carter, I'd say Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter I think everything hinges on him, and Jordan. I think Vic Fangio is going to assume.
So you're putting the same emphasis on him that you would put Aaron Donald on.
Well,
shit, man. Rams win with him.
On Jalen Carter, I think so. I think he can be that guy, though. I really do. And I don't know about Aaron Donald level, but Fletcher Cox level, definitely.
I think he's going to be better.
That's a big statement. Fletcher Cox was a good player, man.
I remember what I told you when I first.
That's a big statement.
Remember what I told you about Fletcher when I first got here? How much I appreciated how he played every down, was a stopgap guy and a pass rusher. Donald was never a stopgap guy and run defender.
You know what's kind of funny to me? The whole Kelsey retirement, it kind of like hit me already because like he did the whole tour, he does the podcast, he's still like in the mix a lot. Fans are always talking about Kelsey. His wife's getting like ripped by some crazy lady down the shore. All sorts of stuff. Like he's in the
I
news.
saw that.
Yeah, it was weird. Weirdo. Margate Karen, they're calling her. I agree. It hasn't hit me yet on Fletcher. Like, dude, ever since I can remember watching this team for the last 12 years. I mean, that goes back to when I was 13, 14 years old. Fletcher Cox has been the anchor of the defense. Been right there up front. 91. The Army crawl. And
Dude,
I mean, the best thing ever. It hasn't hit me yet that Fletcher's gone. I'm going to miss Fletch. I love
You miss him more than you miss Kelsey?
I think the team won't, but I think I don't know. I've been a Fletcher Cox fan my whole life. Like even when I was a youngster, I had a Fletcher Cox jersey. I wore it in high school.
Good.
We went to the concerts. I was like, give me my Cox jersey. I just love Fletcher Cox, and I'll always love Fletcher Cox.
This is for you from James.
Xander, this hurts as an Auburn Tiger, but here's top 10 Bammers: Cornelius Bennett, who we've had on the show, Humphrey, Marlon Humphrey, Trevon Diggs, Eddie Jackson, who's a nobody right now, by the way, though. I mean, he had a good start to his year, but he's on the scrap heap right now. Patrick Surtain, Dante Hightower, Minka Fitzpatrick, C.J. Mosley, Will Anderson, Derek Thomas. And he gives me a War Eagle at the end. Yeah. Let's see the list of Auburn guys, James.
Let me think about Auburn guys. Auburn great defenders. Tracy Rocker.
Oh, come on. Come on, Twiz. Twiz, come on, Twiz.
Twiz is just a shit talker, by the way.
26, Parks. 26. Just turned 26.
Hold on for a second here. Auburn players on defense. Who is that linebacker? Hey.
Man, Auburn ain't produced nothing in the NFL. Don't even try.
The linebacker that played in the NFL for the Bengals. That was an Auburn guy. Who was that dude, man? He was good. I think he played with the Bills, too. Okay, I'm trying to think of some of them Auburn dudes, man. I don't know. I don't think there's very many. All right.
Cam Newton. That's the last one I remember.
Cam Newton is the last guy. They had a what's his name? Nico?
Oh, I mean, no, they do have
Spikes.
They do have
Spikes, James. That's it.
Yeah, Takeo Spikes. That's right.
Yeah, Spikes is an Auburn dude.
Spikes. Takeo Spikes.
Takeo.
And they had Bo Jackson, so I'll give you Bo Jackson. But come on, man, that's like Cowboys. It reminds me of the Cowboys. I mean, 1987, I think he was drafted.
Okay, finally here. So what do you make of Hurts?
That was such a memeable comment by me, by the way.
Hey,
unbelievable.
What do you make of Hurts sucking at the OTAs?
I think it's not good, man. I'm not going to overreact to it, but Dan, this is passing camp.
Right. It's fucking helmets and shorts, and you can't get
the ball. And it's built for the pass, man. It's built for offenses.
It's built for success.
Yes.
You're not hitting anybody. And he's struggling getting the ball. Get this. You know what else I heard he's struggling on? He's struggling on the play callings, on what they want him to do in the huddle.
I'm not going to overreact to spring football, okay? But it's concerning. Now, apparently, Kenny Flickett sucked too. And even, wait a second. So they get this, because we did our OTA breakdown on Birds 365 today, because Johnny Mack was down there at NovaCare yesterday. Apparently now Tanner McKee looks the worst he's ever looked. John's like, I think Doug Nussmeier is like changing his mechanics or something.
No, it's the difficult offense that.
No, that's not what John's talking about. He's talking about the way he looks throwing the football. And I'm like, wait a second. This is our quarterback coach, a guy that Tanner McKee is a third-string quarterback. But the best thing about Tanner McKee was that he was good mechanically and he could throw the ball.
Yeah.
Now John says that looks shoddy. And he had an interception yesterday, underthrowing people left and right. I'm like, so you're telling me
you got all three quarterbacks?
You're telling me the quarterback coach botched the only quarterback who's going to let him touch his mechanics? Oh, God.
War Eagle. James, now that I know you're a War Eagle.
James, you're done. You're not getting any more of that.
Holy cow. Jalen Hurts is blowing on 7-on-7. Oh, my God. Holy cow, man. You got to be kidding me.
Listen.
I mean, what does John say? He's there. What does John?
He said it was ugly. He said it was ugly. He said, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It was bad. It was ugly. Now, he did preface it. Okay, it's spring football. We're not going to overreact, but this is 7-on-7. It's built for the pass. And Jalen Hurts heaved 2 interceptions, and he should have had a third interception that Ringo dropped. I knew. I'm listening to John this morning, and I'm like, this is music to Sills' ears.
This is the first I've actually heard how horrible. Wait a minute. Holy shit. So John goes, it was ugly.
Look, OTA takeaways. Jalen Hurts sucked. That's what I got on this thing. That's what John said.
Wow.
That was my takeaway from the show.
McMullen. Jalen doing too many squats. Flexing. Yikes. Hey, Flexing, any concerns that the people that are watching this thing, and like Xander said, dude, this is set up for success, and he can't find the wideouts.
Yeah, that's troublesome, no? And even when he is finding them, he's not putting the ball in the number.
You think it's more Kellen Moore or Jalen or both?
What's that?
You think it's more Xander? I mean, you think it's more Kellen Moore, or is it Jalen or both?
I think it's Jalen. I said that this morning. I'm like, well, is it Kellen Moore, like, who's getting him to do some stuff outside, his comfort zone? And he's like, dude, it's not. It's 7-on-7. It's a passing drill.
Okay.
Like, there's no offensive line. There's no defensive line. You drop back and you pass. And then the other thing, we had Chris Franklin on today, who's at NJ.com. He was on in the afternoon, in the second hour, and he's like, all 3 quarterbacks are holding on to the football. Like, the play doesn't end unless they're blowing the play dead because the quarterbacks aren't throwing it. I'm like, dude, drop back and throw.
So they're stopping the sequence of the play because
because there's no sacks or anything. But like, if the quarterback holds the ball for 8
seconds, if they don't get that ball out in 3 seconds, they're blowing the whistle.
I don't know about 3 seconds, but it's pretty quick. And apparently they've had a lot more blown dead than they should have.
Hold on, one second. hang on. This is going to carry me home. Hang on.
You'll be hearing about this till August 31st.
Oh, my God. Hey, so how many more OTAs they got? They got another one coming up this week, right?
No, so they're done today. Today was their last day, but it wasn't open to the media. So they had 6 total OTAs, 3 last week, 3 this week. 2 were open to the media, 1 last week, 1 this week. And then next week is the first mandatory thing they have.
4th through the 6th.
Yeah, mandatory minicamp. So they'll have that next season, and that's the first one with Nick ever.
You might want to make a call to Big Dick Nick. Bring that guy's ass in. You might want a veteran QB back there.
Big Nick's playing pickleball.
Dude, and walking around Philly going like this. I did it.
Dan, it's Football Friday. Can we end this on a good note here? Our quarterback
sure.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
Sure, the defense looked very good. Xander, how many likes do we have? Yesterday was the super like day.
Somebody in the chat, give me the number. It's way easier when they give me the number.
Yeah.
You got me like fishing for the like.
What's the like number? We got to get this to 200.
123. 123.
All right. Guys, we're halfway through the show. Not horrible. We'd like to end it strong with 200 by the end of the program. Fly, thank you so much. Xander, dude, that show, no disrespect to Jody. You know, occasionally I needed an oxygen mask to get through it. Now, there's a lot of youth to it. And by the way, do me a favor. So your old man sends me a message last night. Hey, I want you punching up. Not that. And I'm going like, oh, man, you know what?
Well, let me guess. You were out on Twitter, chirping some crap on Twitter, doing some nobody tweets. Dan had a couple more. Wait, let me take you through Dan's night last night. He gets off the show. It's like 2:00. He goes out, he kicks his feet up at the pool. Wife makes him a margarita. He's sitting out there. A couple later, he's like, oh, yeah, time to get on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. No. Crossing broad is in my short hairs right now.
Yeah, they are.
No, they are in my short hair. Hey, by the way, There's a list of people that I have on my scoreboard. Hey, Joe, there's a few people, as you know, that are on my hit list.
Listen, Sills, fuck them all. I'm coming for all of them. I'm dead serious. Fuck them all.
You're too good, man. Don't forget to catch out Farzi, too. Also, he starts our broadcast off. I think our network sounds younger than it's ever sounded. Sometimes I sound like an old man. Get off my lawn, dude. I get it. But wait till this next segment coming up with Wishbone Hurts. I can't wait. This is going to be great. Xander, you were spectacular.
Wishbone.
Thank you, brother.
Wishbone.
John McMullen, thank you for your due diligence in covering a guy who's blowing on 7-on-7.
No.
Hit the like button. Keep it here. National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Del Val Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Jalen sucks, Jalen Hurts not very good in OTAs. Just flicking the ball around playing. He's not good playing catch. This guy can't even play catch. He can't play catch. What kind of NFL quarterback can't play catch? No O-line, just throwing the ball. John McMullen said it's ugly. He can't play catch. He's going to find wide receivers. Holy crap. He can't play catch. Jalen Wishbone Hurts can't play catch. Holy Madon, man. Hey, Devontae, this is coming to you. Why can't he get it to him? He can't play catch. Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, man. He can't play catch. What is wrong with Wishbone? Come on, Wishbone. Dude, this guy's everything I know he is. He ain't it. You can't even play catch with your buddies at the beach. How scared is Nick? Hey, Senor, this is a great point. Hey, okay, look, we're effing around here a little bit, but I guarantee, hey, that's a great take. Xander, look at Senor. Can you imagine Nick watching this guy throwing grounders? Like he's getting ready with a fungo bat, and you're watching the quarterback throw like 20-footers, and they're hitting the dirt before the receivers, and you're Nick Sirianni going, my job's based on this? Ugh. Every time that guy throws an interception or he throws an incomplete pass, Nick goes, yeah, I'm going to pray to God, man. It's Xander's fault. Look at that. See that? Xander is just giving me facts, and Steve doesn't like it because John McMullen is not big sales. John's a reporter, whatever that means. And he said he sucked. God, if John McMullen said he sucked, it must look awful. Hey, you realize that, right? If John said it sucked, it must have looked atrocious. Playing catch. Wishbone can't play catch. With A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Barkley, he can't play catch. Oh, my God. This is too funny. This is comical. And some will go, it's May 30th. You're 3 months out from camp. Or no, from the game. From the game. And your quarterback can't play catch. He's just not that good, man. He's a decent quarterback. He's a better version of Tyrod Taylor. That's who I say he is. Jalen Wishbone can't play catch. Hurts. Oh, my God, man. Hey, hang on here. You know what's going to happen now. Okay? Robert Lang's going to call. Racist! Something. I don't know. Make something up. Be like I'm in a New York District Attorney's courtroom. They'll make something up. Yeah, whatever. Silio's guilty! Why? Because he couldn't play catch? Hey, Flexin, the channel won't grow that way. I'm having no problem. None. Zero. Who's sake? Like the amount of completions your boy had. So here's what this guy wants. Jalen had a great OTAs. What a character guy. Unbelievable. Sensational. He's going to have a bounce back here. Shit, I sound like Rob Ellis. Ain't nobody talking about you, Sills. I know, honey. Keep telling yourself that, sweet baby. We talking about something completely different. Chill. It's all right, Mac. If he was playing great, Sills would say, keep your panties on. He's just in helmets and shorts. Right. I would. Yes. Joshua, put that up there. Dan, first before Flexing goes, I'm talking to, I got you, dipshit. I'll take the dipshit on that one. Okay. 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 You got me, Flexing. Okay. If he was playing great, Sills would say, keep your panties on. It's just helmets and shorts. Correct. But when you suck at it, it's not set up for failure. If you're failing at this, all three quarterbacks look terrible. So wait, the most important position on your football field. Hey, our team's only going to go the way of the quarterback. That's what Xander said, the offense. I don't care who you have running the ball. I don't care who you have at Y and Z. I don't care who your O-line is. If your QB stinks, it ain't going anywhere. Holy cow. How about that dual threat? Where's the dual threat? Can't play catch. Flex got me. Okay, Flex, you got me, you sorry ass. Guys, please hit the like button. We're trying to get to 200 today. Yes, sir. So what do you guys make of it? What's this? Big deal, no deal. Big deal, no deal. Hurts sucking it up. Love you too, Flexin. I do. By the way, Flexin, you could take that to the bank. Because I don't say that to anybody. You're here, you support me, you support us. Nothing with a little shit talking. Look at Senor, man. This guy's had a couple margaritas himself. A big effing deal. Jalen sucks at OTAs. Big deal. 3 more years of Hurts. There you go. Hey, Barb. You ever been in a marriage where you kind of got to stay in it for a little bit? You know? She shows up and you look at her and you go, yeah, I don't know. Or you look at him, Barb, and you go like this, Barb. I hate this guy. Hey, I hate this guy. You know, I don't know. You look at her and you're like, yeah, man, I don't know. This is, you know. So that's why it's good to be a guy like Xander, man. He's all good. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. We're not worried too much. And if he sucked, then shit, he sucks. Trade him. Trade him? Mac, what do you mean trade Jalen Hurts? The golden child of Philly? You know what's going to happen if that guy does suck this year. You want to see, hey, you know the coolest thing about, hey, let me ask you something. How'd you guys treat Ben Simmons when he first got here? Wasn't he like the rookie of the year or some shit? Did Ben win rookie of the year when he was in Philly? Am I wrong when I say that? I know he had like a redshirt year. He got hurt when he was at LSU his final year. Did Ben Simmons, did he win rookie of the year that year? And somehow he got like a super max deal because he was on one of those all defensive teams or some shit like that. Is that how that worked? Where he got that, we got that big number? Flexen, was he rookie of the, was Ben Simmons rookie of the year? Well, I'll tell you what, dog. When he didn't want to take that shot in that playoff game, they went just like this. They went all in. And if this guy shits the bed, here's the thing that I've learned about you guys in Philly. You are going to support this guy come hell or high water. But if he starts showing out and not playing well, I wouldn't want to be a quarterback or a coach or anybody in Philadelphia sports, because that's where it does get ugly. Because you know why? They feel betrayed that they gave their loyalty to you. You know why you hate Wentz so much? It's not because Wentz sucked. You hate Wentz because he betrayed your loyalty. That's deeper. Hey, guy plays bad. He's not as good. Okay, we see that in sports a lot. But in certain cities, they get offended. You guys get offended when guys don't come through. You get offended. We hate Wentz because he was soft. You weren't saying that, Mac, in 17. You weren't saying that then. You said it after Seattle. That's when you said it. You said it after Seattle. Not 17 or 18. You said it after the Seattle playoff game. Shit, I would make a point to you that Carson Wentz was probably one of the most beloved athletes in Philadelphia sports history for one respected time in 2017. City was probably falling over themselves with that guy. I thought he was Brett Favre the way he played. I did. I thought he was Brett Favre. I thought he was the closest thing I saw to Brett Favre. Kellen Moore, Jalen, can you tell me what the defense is in pre-snap? Jalen, no, coach. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. No, coach. Look at DFW, man. Hey, dog, I gotta come to their aid here a little bit. Here's Dak Prescott in a playoff game. What is happening? What the Packers are doing? What are they doing? Holy shit. How come I can't find anybody open? Oh my God, what's happened? How come I'm sweating and my hands have sweat on them? How come? Wait a minute. Did I just pee my pants? I mean, wait a minute. I'm Dak Prescott, the starting quarterback of the Packers, or the starting quarterback of the Cowboys. Why am I peeing my pants and my hands are sweating? And I can't see. Thank you, DFW. I'm kidding you, man. By the way, DFW, just for shits and giggles here, you must be over on the Fort Worth side, on the other side of the airport over there. Do you go up to the stockyards? Hey, DFW, one of the coolest things of all time for me when I went to Arlington and then I went to Fort Worth, and he'll know this if he's hung around the Fort Worth area. So they got a courthouse up there. I get this. Hey, guys, most of you guys and gals are from the same place I'm from, the East Coast. And I never saw any of this shit before. You see, well, my wife's kind of a redneck because she's from Dallas. Okay, I met her in Dallas. And, hey, DFW, you're going to like this. So she takes me to a courthouse, and we're just going by, driving around Fort Worth. We used to like driving around. Really cool city. Stockyards are great. Okay? So when you go to the courthouse, they got a cemetery like right out front of the courthouse where they hung dudes, and where dudes were, here lies 6-gun shooter. His demise was 1846 at the hands of Billy Job Bone James. And you got another guy laying over here called Six Fingers Simmons. This guy was hung for cattle wrestling. For cattle wrestling. I'm like, wait a minute. So what is this? And she's like, yeah. I go, there's actual people buried there? She goes, yeah. You got a graveyard where people that were hung, like back in the day in Fort Worth, and also that were shot, and they bury these guys in there. It's right up front of the courthouse. I'm like, okay. Hey, man, I'm from New England, man. I'm from the Northeast. I don't know. Yeah, man. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, I guess. Yeah, Sills is right. Fort Worth doesn't play. Oh, my God. Dude, it's funny as shit, man. All right, you know what we're going to do here? Folks, tell me who the second team up is for the Eagles on the docket in 2024. This year, who's the second team that the Eagles will play after the Packers Friday in Brazil? Who's the second team that they will play? Please hit the like button, guys. We're trying to get to 200 likes here by the end of the program here. That's right. Thank you, Greg. You, play the Atlanta Falcons. How many people believe that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be a good football team this year? How many people believe they're going to be good? I actually think they're going to be good because for numerous reasons. I think their schedule sucks. Yeah, that's right. It's a primetime game. It's Monday night. It surely is. It's Monday night. Kind of a short. So is that right? You guys play Friday. They got to turn around and fly and then play on a Monday? Oh, wait. So you're playing Friday, but you get that Saturday because you're going to travel, though. And you flip it around and you play. That's not too awful. Weak division. Dak is a choke bag in the playoffs, which is why I'm fine with moving on from him. And this is coming from a diehard Cowboy fan. Hey, DFW, would you be okay with Shedeur Sanders quarterbacking your team next year? Falcons are bad? Let's take a look at that, Barb. I think the offseason has been pretty good, actually, for the Falcons. And adding Cousins, in my opinion, he's the best quarterback that Atlanta's had since Matt Ryan has been in the building there. Falcons had a winning record a year ago versus playoff teams in 2023. It's 6 years under 500, though, when it comes to win-loss record. I think they could be an 11-6 team with this schedule. That doesn't mean, get this, the Eagles could be 11-6, but they'll be a better team because they play better players on their and people on their schedule. Just your record doesn't indicate who you are. How far you go in the postseason does. That's the difference between the NFL and college. The regular season doesn't really matter that much, except for this. The regular season in college football matters because it gets you into the playoffs. And it gets you into the Final Four. The NFL, that doesn't dictate that. You could have the best record in the AFC or NFC. That's not a guarantee you're going to play for the championship. Think about that. College football is rigged. It's totally rigged. Because you could have two 12-0 teams like Georgia and FSU, or two great teams. Shit, you could be undefeated. Think about Georgia last year. I never even thought about it until right now. Think of Georgia and FSU. So Georgia lost. Xander, am I right? Georgia lost in the SEC title game to Alabama by 3 points. And they had won 2 back-to-back national titles. And they were ignored from going to the Final Four over 3 points in an SEC title game. And they had fatigue in that room because they didn't want to see Georgia go for a third time. There's no other reason. I say Georgia beats Michigan. You're not going to beat Alabama and Georgia in consecutive games. You're not. Alabama took them to overtime. You're not doing that, Georgia, too. They helped Michigan. Washington was nowhere in the room with Georgia. Then you had Florida State that was undefeated. So you had an undefeated FSU team, and you had a one-loss Georgia team to Alabama by 3 points in an SEC title game, and they couldn't go. Why? Well, The committee picked 4 other teams or 2 other teams. That's not how it is in the NFL. You can win 13 games. You can win 10 games. Hey, didn't the Chiefs have as many wins last year as the Eagles? Didn't they have 11? Florida State should have never been there. They weren't there. They didn't make it. They got crushed by Georgia in the, I believe, the Orange Bowl. Georgia put 60 on them. So Georgia put 60 on them, lost to Alabama by 3, and they didn't go. Oh, but that's my point. Georgia was the second best team in the country last year. Maybe the first best team. I think Georgia got jobbed out of being national champs. You lose to Alabama by 3 in an SEC title game? Okay. And? Right. You get crushed by Georgia by 60? Come on, man. That's right, Reggie. The year that the Giants beat the Patriots, the undefeated Patriots that year, they had them won like 9 or 10 games that year. I mean, regular season doesn't mean shit except for home field and winning the division. It matters in seeding. Not saying it's the right move, but don't be surprised if the Cowboys make Trey Lance a starter in 25. McCarthy's been working with him in the past year like he did with Rodgers. Supposedly, too, DFW, they really love what they're seeing with Trey Lance. And supposedly, that's exactly what I'm hearing, too, also from Steven, is that Trey Lance is showing signs of being some of the things that they thought when he went to San Francisco in the draft. And they're making comments now that this guy looks like he's understanding the game more. I'll tell you this to Mike McCarthy and to DFW. Let me say this. Hold on, Mark. Trey Lance is a bust. All bullshit. Well, Baker Mayfield, is he a bust? That's right. Trey Lance looks better than Wishbone Hurts in OTAs. Oh, I see. Trey Lance is looking good in OTAs. It's set up. Even Trey Lance is looking good. A bust. And your guy, Wishbone Hurts, is sucking ass in OTAs. Oh, okay. Wishbone Hurts. Come on, man. This thing's set up for you. The Falcons upgraded quarterback, Michael Penix and Cousins, yes. Did they improve the pass rush? A little. A.J. Terrell, I think, is a really good corner they got. Now, do they have help for him on CB2? Wide receiver, Drake London. I like him. They drafted that kid, Casey Washington. But are they better than Tampa? God, they got good offensive linemen in Tampa, especially at the tackle positions. Mayfield, another year in the system. Tampa's got to run the ball. Tampa's defense is going to be better with KJ Britt. Say it with me. KJ Britt will be one of the top 5 linebackers in the NFL. KJ Britt, the guy who took Tevin White's job. Is there an OTA Super Bowl? No. So who cares? That's right, Matt. Keep up the good spirit that your quarterback can't play catch. Here's Jalen's passing style. Like a shot put. Isn't that fluid? You know, this guy. Oh, man. Oh, Maron, man. Brady sucked a few times. Yeah, Tom Brady sucking a few times at OTAs. I'm not quite worried about that. That's 7 reasons why. Hey, Brian. Quarterback can't play catch. I can't wait for all the excuses when Josh Allen fails. You mean like your boy did last year? Everyone, ESPN and other outlets will come to his defense. No, they won't, because you don't have to worry about it, Taylor. He ain't getting better. I don't care if you bring in North Turner. It ain't happening. Oh, I'm going to be so right. Hey, I am going to be so right on this that I may actually be upset about it. I'm going to be so right about this. I already know I am. It's a shame nobody can admit Jalen has faults. Watch for 4 years. Jalen has issues in the pocket. Troy, if they gave him more time, Troy, and if they just played him what he is, they would be all right. They're doing so much overcoaching right now. I think they're overcoaching him. And what Xander told me, so all the quarterbacks are struggling. They're overcoaching even the second and third team guys. This is so obvious. They haven't learned from their fuck-ups last year. This is so evident. Just let the guy be who he is, man. Go back to 22. Dude, you go back to 22, you'll shut my face up for sure. You're overcoat. Dude, you know the first sign is? You know what the first sign is? All the quarterbacks are struggling. I wouldn't get worked up over it. Let's see him play in September. So wait a minute. Your installments, Yale, you're installing the offense now that you're going to run in September. You validate all the things that you prepared for the season in September. You don't wait and see how he plays. He has to know the offense. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's been there since February. It's March. And yet you think another 3 months he's going to fix Jalen's problems. Because he fixed Dax in Dallas. Kellen doesn't know how to adjust his offense to quarterback skill set. Holy cow, DFW. I said it. I think they got the wrong coordinator now. I don't think he's a bad coordinator. I think he's a good coordinator in some aspects. But what's a drop back guy doing with an RPO guy, trying to make him a drop back guy? This isn't high school. You either have that skill set or you don't. You don't become a great pocket passer. You either are or you're not. There's a reason he didn't go in the first round. That's the exact reason. I understand what you're saying. Bust of Jalen's best attribute is running. It's not him improving in the pocket. His running, Troy, improves his passing game and helps him and gives him time. I agree, RTF. I think Kingsbury would have been the guy. You see, Troy, his running ability in 2022 allowed the passing and his passing game to evolve. And it's given the Eagle front office fool's gold because they took the most important thing, like they did Carson Wentz, away, his mobility. They took Wentz's mobility away, and they took Hurts's mobility away. Those two quarterbacks rely on it. And that's why Carson Wentz disaster, mentally also not there, it fell off the planet If they could run what they did at Oklahoma, he'll be good. Lincoln Riley did a variety of things. He did. More versatile, and it was a more versatile RPO type offense. Agreed. Now, a lot of the things you saw Caleb Williams do last year are not going to translate into the NFL. I think he is going to struggle with some of the improvisation that he had at SC. Remember something too, Forrest, the more you improv when you're in college, you can't do that in the NFL unless you're a moving quarterback. Think about this for a second. Actually, Taylor goes, Josh Allen attributes on losing key games. He's got more wins than Jalen. He's got a higher win percentage than Jalen. Plays against better people than Jalen. What are you talking about? This guy's won almost 70% of his ball games. Not Hurts. That's a misnomer. I mean, what helped him in 22 become a better passer? The threat of Xander said something when he was on at 3:30 with us. You know what he said? He goes, how many times were they in 3rd and long last year? That's because they relied on the pass more than the run. How many times? Ask yourself this one too, Forrest. Hey, Forrest, ask yourself this. Do you remember 22? Were the Eagles ever in 3rd and long, really? Why? Sanders had 1,300 yards. Hurts had 800. They had massive weapons. Just the run game was more of a threat than the receivers on the numbers. That's why those guys are more decoys to me. The key loss to the offense has been the production in the backfield. Think about it for a second here. The year previous, Sanders had 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Jalen had 11. You had like 25 touchdowns in 22. And what was it? 30, what was it? $3,000 in rushing? Am I right when I say that? You had like $3,000 in rushing between Sanders and Jalen, right? Something like that, or $2,000. It's something like $2,000 and 25 touchdowns in 22. That number came down to like what? 1,600. How many touchdowns did Swift have last year? Rushing the ball. 15? You lost 10 touchdowns out of your backfield and almost 700 yards rushing. And those 700 yards, Hurts was just 29-3. Dan, stop. 29-3? No, he's not 29-3. 9-8. Was it 14 or 13? 3, 11, 23, and 11. And last year, 11-6. He's 34-17. It's not 23 and not 29-3. Kellen has a track record of not committing to the run, and he doesn't run his quarterback much. No, Dak never really ran. You weren't 14-1. He had a stretch. Great. Last year, Allen had a stretch where he was 10-1 too. I don't bring that up. Who cares? Who cares? Mahomes is 15-3. Allen is 5-5 with a lucky win against the Dolphins. What? Dude, he's won in the last 3 years 35 ball games. Hurts is third with 33. Okay? stops cutting the season up like a jackass. All right. We are going to reset. Sills, Hurts probably would have been a second round pick if he didn't have the year he had at Oklahoma. He wouldn't have been. Absolutely not. Remember something too. People are right. He wasn't drafted to be the starter ever. Wasn't drafted ever to be the starter in Philly, but that's not a big thing because a lot of quarterbacks. Russell Wilson wasn't really drafted in Seattle to be the starter up there, so that happens. All right. Xander, where are we in the likes? We're going to reset here. Where are we in the likes? Let's see where we are. 156. Guys, we need 44 more for 200. It'd be awesome if we could get up to 200. We need 44 likes. The legend, the Philly Godfather is going to join us. The man, the myth, the legend. I may have to calm him down a little bit. All right. But he's going to join us. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. He's going to try to make you some money during the playoffs. The NBA playoffs, by the way, Dallas and Boston. Who's watching? Who cares? I don't get it. Overselling that thing. Talk about NBA in the toilet. How in the world do you watch and support some? Dude, TNT. I don't know if you guys realize this. So TNT is not going to have the NBA anymore, right? They're going to invest in college football. It's the right thing to do. Why? This shows you how arrogant Charles Barkley and Shaq and Kenny Smith and Ernie are when it comes to that show. You think TNT is going to spend $3 billion for Inside the NBA when the entire league has lost 45% of their viewership since 2016? It's a losing proposition. So if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to spend it on college football. Something that actually gets me ratings. You want to hear something even crazier? Do you know that UFL? I'm sure some of you haven't even watched the UFL. You know they get higher ratings than the NHL does? It shows you the power of football. Shows you the power of football. It's a spring league. Barely anyone's watching it. They still get 1 million viewers. More than the NHL. Why in the world should TNT continue to throw money into a trash can and light it on fire? Why? I'm going to go get college football. Team up with ESPN and put games on TNT. Makes more sense. It's a money-generating profit, and it's a profit machine. Dude, you're crazy if you think, well, hey, it's really sad that Inside the NBA is not going to be around. It is. It's the best. That's the best pre- and post-game sports show in America, and it's not close. Even the NFL on Fox, it's a great show. But the product blows. You're fixing up a dog shit program with really good-looking wheels. Because the substance of the NBA is not watchable. You take LeBron and Steph Curry off the NBA right now. Tell me who the face of the league is coming up. Who's the face of the league? The two foreigners? I have no interest in watching that. Who, the guy in Dallas? Who plays like he's a soccer guy and flops around? And the guy in Denver? Who plays the same style, flops around like he's like Messi in a soccer game? Those guys, Joker and the guy in Dallas and Hurt Embiid are your faces of the NBA? I'm out. I'd rather watch college football. I'd rather watch college football. College football and the NFL are the two biggest sports. Wemby, another foreigner. Who cares? I don't care. Americans don't root for foreigners. We don't watch foreigners play in America. Roger Federer is one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Nobody cared. Rory McIlroy is a phenomenal golfer. Nobody cares. If you're not Tiger, if you're not DeChambeau, you're not one of them dudes, nobody cares. Why do you think Americans don't watch international soccer? Because nobody cares. Why do you think nobody cares about the Olympics anymore? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. What, skeet shooting? Skeet shooting? You know the thing you shoot to play the clay pigeons and you get on your skis? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've done that. I did that in South Philly 3 years ago. I was shooting clay pigeons and I was on my skis. Come on, man. What are you, nuts? Right? Hey, Yale. You imagine Big Sills going through like, hey, Barb, going through South Philly. I got a gun on my back. I'd be tackled immediately. And here I am. I'm going through that, right? I take out my thing, I put the clay pigeon in the air, I shoot the damn thing, and I get back on my horse again. Or my skis again. I don't know. There's been a trend of foreign appeal in some areas. Caitlin is bringing the WNBA. She is. Did you see that, Forrest? How about this just to show, just to show you how my point is to a fact. So every single home game last year that LeBron James had at Staples, 18,009 something. Caitlin Clark shows up 2 Fridays ago, and she has almost 20,000 fans. So all the games that LeBron James played last year in the NBA or this past season didn't equate to her having the highest attendance game at Staples. She's a bigger star than LeBron. I'll say this to you, too. One last thing here before we take a timeout. One last thing about LeBron. Here's his failure why he'll never be the GOAT. LeBron James never brought ratings to the NBA like Jordan did. He never brought ratings. Nobody cared. Since 2016, LeBron James has been part of the biggest disaster in ratings history for a sport like the NBA. He's part of the reason that no one watches. The politics, the load management, the political messaging, the players not wanting to play 80 games anymore, are all contributing to nobody wanting to watch or care. And the foreign influence. Am I wrong? Don't say that too loud, though, because people will go after you for calling LeBron something or whatever. Great player. He had no impact on bringing fans to the game. None. Kobe had more. Kobe, in my opinion, was the last. Steph Curry, I'll take that back. Steph was the last player to bring viewers to a game. I think the NFL ending OTAs is a bad move. They're giving the rookies more time to get in trouble. Long off seasons leads more room for negligence. Hey, I'll tell you this, Monster. Yes. And how do you develop O-linemen? How do you develop O-linemen when you don't practice enough? It's remarkable what Jeff Stoutland does. It's remarkable. Utterly remarkable. Totally. All right, we're going to take a timeout. Remember, guys, we're trying to get to 200 likes. I appreciate you guys very much. Please hit the like button. We're going to reset. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Del Valle Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Wishbone can't play catch. Best reporting job of the year by John McMullen. Whew. Hard to watch, Jalen. Oh, that's the tweet of the night. That's the tweet of the night after this program. Jalen / hard to watch and pitch and catch. Hard to watch. Oh. So it's only OTAs. I know. I know. Think about that. It's only OTAs. There's not a chance in hell you should be failing. You shouldn't be getting pats on the back for OTAs. Maybe rookies. I know. He sucks in pitch and catch. He can't play catch with his guys. Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Oh, my God. When John McMullen said that this morning on Birds 365, Xander must have went, oh, my God. This will be a weekend of calls. Yes, sir, baby. Jalen Hurts was hard to watch in OTAs where it's set up for you just to play catch, and he can't. Oh, my God. Helmets and shorts, he can't play catch. Jesus criminy. Come on, man. This guy can't play catch. In OTAs, helmets and shorts. Helmets and shorts. It's something that's not supposed to matter, but you're not supposed to blow at it. Are you supposed to suck at it? Every time I think of Hurts, I keep seeing the guy from Napoleon Dynamite. Hey, yeah, wait till I give the news here to my legendary friend, the Philly Godfather. He joins us now. What's up, brother?
My man just got a car, man.
So what'd you just get into? would you just get into the let me guess what you got into here. I'll say this. An Aston Martin. Is that where we are here, man? There you go.
All American muscle. Brand new Corvette.
There you go. I love it. So, hey, get this. What do you make of this? Our very own John McMullen.
He's the best. I love him.
He reported this morning that Jalen Hurts was hard to watch in OTAs. And this is a situation where it's pitch and catch. It's set up for success. It's like 7-on-7. And he said the whole thing was hard to watch.
Wow. It's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Can he flick it, baby?
Kenny, how about this too? This goes to what you and I say. All the quarterbacks look bad. They're overcooking these guys.
Yeah, and plus it's a new system. You know, we talked about it. It takes some of the sharper guys 4 to 6 weeks. Some of the guys that, you know, they're all sharp to play quarterback in the NFL, but some are a little sharper. Some other guys take 6 to 8 weeks to get acclimated to a new system. So you could see some growing pains early in the year.
Hey, can I slide off topic for you for a second here? I want to ask you something. November 5th or 6th, what does Big Philly Godfather have between Biden and Trump for November 5th or 6th? Where's the big money on right now?
That's the nation's Super Bowl. I mean, that's the Warren Buffett once said, "Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy." And right now, it's time to be greedy. I keep betting Donald Trump. I just keep betting him and betting him. The line dropped a little bit, but he's going to crush him, man. He's going to what they did to him. I mean, they set him up. The odds were against him, right? He won 1% of that district, and you're trying to find one juror. You know, when I picked my jury out of a pool of 50, when I went to trial, people don't know this because they've never gone to trial. When I went to trial back in 2006, you get a pool of 50 people to pick your jurors from, okay? So if you do the math, and Trump only won 1% of that district, and you got to find one guy out of 50, he don't exist. He exists 1 out of 100. So the math that people were doing, and I made the mistake too, I thought there could be a hung jury. I'm thinking they'll find 1 out of 12, but that's impossible because you can't find 1 out of 50 in a district where he won 1% of the vote. So I think there's going to be a huge movement. I'm betting Donald Trump, and that's what it is.
Okay, I love it. Let's do this. In your opinion, when you look at Saquon Barkley being added to this offense for the Eagles, do you believe he is the wild card that gets them across the finish line to win a Super Bowl? Is he the one player that gets them there?
They're going to need him, especially in the fourth quarter come playoff time. You saw what McCaffrey did, what he was worth to that 49ers team. You saw what he did in the Super Bowl. You definitely need a guy like that can catch the ball at the backfield, that can run the ball down your throat, especially if you got a lead. You know, you got to hold on to that lead. So you got to be able to run the ball. In the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, who they had? They had the guy from New England, Blunt, right? So in the fourth quarter of those games, and they had the other kid from Miami, I forgot his name, and they were a hell of a 1-2 punch in that fourth quarter when they were just running the ball down your throat. So you definitely need a running back like that, and he can only enhance your team come playoff time. He's going to have to be healthy come playoff time.
You know, CBS came out with the top 10. I'm not going to go through the whole league with you here, but they came out with like the top 32. So I narrowed it down to the top 10 offenses. And just to get your response. So CBS came out and said that the Chiefs were number 1. And so do I. Is Mahomes just that much better that it doesn't matter who you have at wide out? And it really doesn't matter who you have in the backfield, because at the end of the day, Mahomes and Andy Reid, the last 2 years, have beaten the Niners and the Eagles with all that talent. And would we not agree, Godfather, would we not agree the last 2 years, the two better rosters did not beat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
No, they didn't. And it's kind of Brady-esque, right? You saw the wide receivers he had, other than that one year when they had the monster from Minnesota. What was his name? When they went 17-0. But yeah, Mahomes is that much better than everyone else. And you need that type of quarterback, especially in the playoffs, to win a Super Bowl. And we watched the Chiefs win it back-to-back now with inferior wide receivers. So Mahomes is definitely on his way. It's him and Joe Burrow. I think they're the two best quarterbacks in the league. Justin Herbert's right there with them, a little bit behind them, and then Josh Allen and a couple other guys. But Jalen Hurts, to me, borderline top 10. Last year, he wasn't even top 15, so he's going to have some work to do to get there.
I got the 49ers as the second best offense in the NFL. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the odds makers put out there. It's the Chiefs and 49ers again, and then Detroit Lions. The Bills are up there. Very dangerous. The Jets, no one's talking about the Jets, but if you got a healthy Aaron Rodgers, that team could be dangerous as well.
O-line's got to pick it up there. I got the Bengals 3 as top 3. You got T. Higgins, and you got Jamar Chase, and you got Joe Namath Burrow, where, hey, this is all about him playing 17, isn't it?
Yeah. Their offensive line is always shaky, but he's done it with one of the worst offensive lines in the history of football. So that shows how good he is. Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Mahomes could have got it done the way Burrow got done if he had those offensive lines in front of him. Mahomes has had some of the better offensive lines in the NFL. So that's how good Joe Burrow is.
This is where I have Wishbone Hurts. They're at number 4. I got him and the Eagles as the 4th best. Now, would you put Lions, or would you put the Eagle offense? They got 2 really good wideouts up there. They got a hell of a tight end. They got, how about this? You know what they're saying about their O-line? They have the top O-line in football with those bookend tackles and Ragnow at center and the guard that they have. They think that they have the best O-line in football. And look at Goff's year, 4,400 yards, 4,500 yards a year ago, 30 touchdowns. Had a great season a year ago. They went to the NFC title game. Is that offense better than Philly?
The offensive line is. I don't think the weapons are. They're pretty close, though. And we talked about it last year before the season started. I told everyone Goff was going to have a big year because of that offensive line, and that's exactly what happened. So I think the Eagles got slightly better weapons, but the Lions definitely have the much better offensive line going into the season.
Number 6, I got the Texans. How about this? Nico Collins, now Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon. You got Jeremy Tunsil at left tackle, and you have C.J. Stroud and Bobby Slowik calling plays, and DeMeco Ryans. They're clearly the best pro team in Texas, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you saw what this kid did last season as a rookie. I mean, he looks like he's been playing football for 5 years, and they added some weapons this season. Their odds, that's a big indicator to me. They dropped down. They got better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Philadelphia Eagles right now. So this is a very dangerous team in the AFC, and they're going to make some noise. And don't be surprised if they end up in the AFC Championship game.
Wow. Yeah, hey, Doug Peterson and Shane Steichen in the AFC title game. And all of a sudden, if the Eagles don't make the playoffs, wow, man, that'll be a great year in sports talk in Philly. I'll tell you that. How about this Rams team? I got them 7. What do you make of them, man? I mean, you got Cooper Kupp now. You've got Puka Nacua. You got an improved O-line. You got a hell of a play caller in Sean McVay there. You got a great organization, Les Snead and Kevin Demoff. I mean, I like how the Rams run their team.
Yeah, can the quarterback stay healthy? That's the big question.
Yep.
Can he play, all 17 games? Can he stay healthy in the playoffs? He's always got some nagging injuries. He's a warrior, though. He's a soldier. He goes out there regardless. I love him. I love Stafford. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. And they do have the quarterback. They do have the coach. They have the experience. And who can cover those wide receivers out there? They're pretty good.
Tell me what you make of this Packer team. I have them 8 when it comes to their – now, we're just talking offense, obviously. But, I mean, there's also word that Devontae Adams wants to go back home. Can you imagine adding him there with Josh Jacobs? I'll tell you what, could you see there's some people that are predicting that this Packer team might make it to the NFC title game and maybe even get and push themselves into a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was one of my bigger bets already. I only bet one future so far in the NFL, and that's over 9.5 wins for the Packers. Last season, they were banged up early, and we were talking about it, banged up on the offensive line. And I was telling everybody when they get healthy, they're going to be dangerous. And you saw what happened late in the season. And if it wasn't for a couple, brain cramps in that championship game, it would have been in the Super Bowl. Jordan Love looks like he keeps getting better and better. Yeah, they're going to be right there as well.
What do you make of this Dolphin team? I have them 9, and now they got Odell Beckham Jr. They have Jalen Waddle they just gave a deal to, and they have obviously Tyreek Hill. They got a pretty good running back game. They got a pretty good O-line too. I mean, not bad. They got a hell of a play caller in Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Aside with the Hello Kitty backpack, I'm all right with him. But you tell me, man, what do you make? Do you buy this Dolphin team?
I bought him last year. I had Mike McDaniel as the coach of the year. Their offense was stacked. Can their quarterback stay healthy? Another guy that usually gets banged up, but they're loaded offensively. At times when they stepped up against better competition, they looked really soft. Hopefully this year that changes. But to me, they're a little soft. But offensively, I mean, they're loaded. I mean, they're stacked.
Ravens, I got a 10. What do you make of them? I mean, they got Derrick Henry now. They got Zay Flowers. The tight end is pretty good. And the play caller is not bad. Todd Monken, they won an MVP last year with this Ravens team. Derrick Henry's impact will be what with the Ravens this year?
I mean, Munchen's awesome, and all. And they had a great season last year, but in the championship game, the whole coaching staff had brain cramps. I mean, they played the wrong way. They ran the ball down everyone's throat all season. Then they wanted Lamar to go drop back and pass 37 times. That's not how you're going to win as a Baltimore Raven. You got to pound and ground and pound and run the ball down people's throats. You got to play bully ball. If they continue to play that way, and Lamar, he's one of the greatest running backs I've ever seen, and he's playing the quarterback position, they're tough to beat. And one of the better defenses in the NFL. They shut out the Chiefs in the entire second half of that championship game. But, Lamar's not that guy. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Justin Herbert. So you got to play the right type of football, or else you're not going to get there.
All right, now we're going to go off script, off football here for a second. Give me a lock of the day in MLB.
Lock of the day, huh? I'm really good at totals. That's my niche. I shape and move the market when it comes to baseball totals. As soon as I bet the game, I get a ton of respect on the screen. You'll see the line move. I bet the under in the Cleveland Guardians. They call them the Guardians these days. I still call them the Cleveland Indians. I bet the under 8.5 in that game. I bet the under 8.5 in the Kansas City Royals game. And what else? I like the Houston Astros today. I laid 110 on them. That's about it.
All right. NBA Finals. Boston, Dallas. Who you got in this one?
I gave it to you guys before the playoffs. I told you guys the Dallas Mavericks were going to make the championship game. I told you guys take them at 25-1. So if you bet them for $100 and they win the championship, you win $2,500. Now we're in a great position. You can lay 200 on the Celtics and make free money and don't even sweat the game. But when it comes to the matchups, I think the Mavericks have the much better coach. I think they got two unbelievable players, and they got the greatest player on the planet right now in Luka. I think the Mavericks have played the much better competition in the playoffs. The Celtics played down the competition, and they've struggled. Last game against the Pacers, they only put up 105 points, and the Pacers had the 24th ranked defense in the NBA, and you saw what the Mavericks did against the number one defense in the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They scored at will. So it really depends on Porzingis' health, how healthy he is. Is he 50%, 75%? You've had calf injuries. I've had them. They really affect you, especially in basketball when you're trying to shoot and rebound. You're jumping up and down on every play. So that's going to be, that's the X factor there. But when it comes to closing out games, who's better than Kyrie or Luka? So this series is going to be tight. Every possession is going to count. And if it comes down to the end, I think the Mavericks are a little better.
Okay, hopefully we get him back here. I like that because at least we got him saying that he believes that the Mavericks have a little bit better team. And I'll make this point to you also. And if we're able to get the Philly Godfather back here, Kyrie Irving, He was so toxic 18 months ago. Does anybody remember what Dallas gave up for him when he was in Brooklyn? Man, when you got a player like that with that kind of talent, you're giving multiple first rounders up. You're spending a ton of money. I don't think the Mavericks gave up a lot to sign him. What a gamble that's absolutely paid off. I mean, I can't believe it. Now let's go back to Philly Godfather here. I just was saying this. I can't believe the job that Kyrie Irving has done. 18 months ago, he was as toxic as any player has ever been. Maybe when Kobe and Eagle, Colorado, that kind of thing, nobody wanted to go near him. And I don't even remember what the Mavericks gave up with the Nets to get him. I don't think it was a lot. They're paying him some good money, but they didn't give up equity. Have you been shocked by the way? I mean, this is a legacy game for him. If he helps a guy win another championship, the greatest Robin of all time has got to be Pippen. But I'll tell you what, if he wins another championship, one for LeBron and the guy in Dallas, that's a pretty big testament on his resume.
Yeah, you got to give it to Kyrie. He stepped his game up. He's gotten more focus. Less things are bothering him. He's not out there worrying about everything else. And I think Luka played a major role. He's one of those guys that teams love playing for. You see the fire in his eyes on the court. You see him cursing people. Like he reminds me of Michael Jordan with that attitude, with that chip on his shoulder. And I think Luka knows this is the time. And I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to seize the moment. And they got a great shot at winning the championship.
Who wins the NBA MVP, or who wins the Finals MVP?
I hope it's Luka. I gave it out back in April. Luka at 20-1 odds to be the NBA Finals MVP. So if you bet $100 and he does get it, you win $2,000. So we just keep giving you winners on the Dan Sileo show each and every week.
There you go. Tell the folks how they can find you, Godfather.
On Twitter at Philly Godfather, the PhillyGodfather.com's website. Every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time on the greatest show in the world, the Dan Sileo show. Coach Trump, baby.
You got it. My friend, thank you so much, as always, finding time for me. Enjoy your weekend.
God bless you guys.
That's our friend, the Philly Godfather, for joining us here. Absolutely. Hey, Sills, how was your NFL career? Better than yours. How you doing? Xander, where are we, big fella, when it comes to the likes? Where are we, big fella? How many likes we have here? Let's go. We're 20 away. We're 30 away. Oh, my Lord. Man. Come on now. Ooh, this is going to be a tight one. Come on, guys. 30 more. What do we got? 20 to go. 20 to go. I'm counting on you. Unlike the Eagle meltdown of last year, known as Chernobylville, I have faith in my team. I have faith in my team. I'm not firing anybody. Our colors don't run. Not here, baby. Not here. This is a place of winners. Hit that like button. Let's get this bad puppy to 200. Finish the week off. The Philadelphia Chernobyls last year. That's not what this is. Actually, the Philadelphia Chernobyl Eagles. The Philadelphia Chernobyls. Holy shit. Man, you got to be kidding me. What a nuclear meltdown. Oh, my God. And dude, it's OTAs. It's OTAs. And your guy can't play catch. Is he okay? Somebody may want to give him a physical. I mean, he can't play catch. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Hi, I'm Jim Muehlbronner, Managing Partner at Del Valle Insurance Group. Give us a call. We're a local, knowledgeable agency, not an 800 number. Go Birds!
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you guys so much. Here's what I just tweeted out. By the way, we're 13 back. Before the top of the program, let's try to get that to 200. I really appreciate you guys very much. So here, check it out. This is what I just tweeted out at the Dan Sileo show. Look what I just tweeted out here. Right there. See that right there? Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts was hard to watch at OTAs this week. Hurts can't even play catch. Oh, God almighty. Yeah. Man, this ought to do very well. Oh, my God. Dude, thank you, Flexin. Come on, man. It's catch. Watch that joiner's face in the postgame during the 1-7 Chernobyl collapse was classic. Hey, you know what, DFW? I was telling them since New England, they weren't that team. Wentz, watch Michael Jordan hit up Larry. Hey, look at that, man. Woo! Whole season. This is going to be spectacular. I cannot wait. So wait a minute. So you don't make anything out of that? Nothing. Don't worry about it. You think Nick's concerned? You think the Eagles are concerned? So wait. So get this. His first opportunity to right the ship from a year ago, he sucks. And just something that's set up for success. Coming off a suck-ass year. But you're all right. Okay. Ain't like he came off a Pro Bowl year or a Super Bowl year. Oh, I forgot he did go to the Pro Bowl with Gardner Minshew. That's right. That tells you what that means. Gardner Minshew went to the Pro Bowl. Yeah. So nothing, right? Here we go. Wait. William, you're not worried now? Nothing, right? Hey, Stevens, the only people that think those things about Allen are people in here. No one on the planet thinks that. No one. It's not a debate anymore with me. I'm not debating it. I would never bring Allen and Hurts in the same room. It's not the same conversation. They're two different guys. One's great, one's not. It's a stupid debate. You're more in the room of conversating with Brock Purdy. That's who your contemporary is. He's got a lot of talent too, like Jalen does. He does more with his talent than Hurts does because they win on a consistent. Hey, would you not agree on this? Brock Purdy has won more consistently than Jalen has. He's been to 2 conference title games. He's been to a Super Bowl himself. And he's put up insane numbers. He has not outplayed him. And I think they're the same. They just get it done different. And your guy did it 2 years ago. This guy's done it 2 years in a row. And Brock beat the living shit out of your team at your barn. Brock Garoppolo? Hey, Twiz, that's not what I saw at Lincoln Financial last fall. I saw your team get their ass kicked to a point where they quit. How about this, Twiz? 49ers beat you so bad, they beat you into submission. That's more than a loss. They beat you into submission. $42-19. Is that what the score was? Brian, is that what the score was? 42-19. In Philly. Now we can't play catch. Hey, Brian, 10 more likes, guys. Hey, Brian, think of this. They beat him up so bad, he's never been the same. Gee, who's that remind you of? Wentz? It was the gauntlet, Sills. Remember the gauntlet. Yeah, I used to remember. Big Bill! We are the gauntlet. Remember that stupid shit? Hey, Brian, we are the gauntlet. And you're like, come on, dog. This thing's going to run out of heat in a minute. And Dallas, 8 quarters, man, beat the living breaks out of you. The gauntlet. We're the gauntlet. Oh, okay. The gauntlet. The gauntlet. Someone. Hey, dude, Brian, if the 49ers get into another game against the Eagles, they'll beat the shit out of them again. Pro Bowl corners, safety, Hufanga's back, best backers in the game, and the best front four. And on top of that, you've got an offense that's compatible with Philly and a play caller that's better. San Francisco's light years ahead of the Eagles roster. They're just better at every level. 53-man roster. Eagles, here's where they got the advantage. O-line, yes. Receiver, not by much. Tight end, they don't. Running back, they don't. Quarterback, they don't. Play caller, they don't. And defensively, nowhere on your defense do you have an advantage over San Francisco. Nowhere. Not even in depth. Not even in depth. But hey, Barkley is the linchpin. And now, okay, hey, now, you know what you get? Right? You got Wishbone not being able to play catch in OTAs. Oh, man. Oh, man. No one is going to beat the combo of Lamar and Henry. Charlie, that's going to be a formidable task. Now, that's if they can both stay healthy. If they can both stay healthy, that's going to be crazy. 8 more likes, guys. Thank you guys so much. It's 6 minutes away, man. 8 more likes. I appreciate it to finish up the week. DFW says, just like Big Sil says, how you doing? Hey, man. How you doing? That's right, Flexin. Hey, Flexin. Your football team, I did say, had the 4th best offense. I think you do. I think your quarterback holds you back a tad, but the rest of the positions, and I'm not ready to give Detroit the best O-line like many are. I'm not ready to do that. I think they're good. I do. I think they're good, but I don't think they're better than Philly's O-line yet. I got to see that. Who would you start, Hurts or Pickett? Dart, come on. Really? I'm not starting small hands Pickett, even though he's outplaying him. Or I think, or whatever. I hear they all three, according to John McMullen, they all 3 blew. Flexing goes, you're all emotional. Of course they are. Hey, from what I understand, too, Flexing, Midall handles that. Will Greer. Pickett season coming soon. The defense is what worries me. Yeah, that's it, too. And hey, Flexing, you know what else, too? Hurts being consistent and protecting the football will be the key essential part of this. Absolutely. Tell me how, right? And the defense is a worry. So, hey, Flexing, how we doing on the likes here? OTAs, baby. OTAs. How will Henry make a difference? They'll make Lamar throw 37 times. Well, you got a running back that actually has been consistent for the last 7 years. I mean, unlike your guy, he's played on a shitty team too. Tennessee. Derrick Henry is a beast. 5 more likes, guys. Derrick Henry is a beast. There's no getting around it. He's a beast. Look at Taylor. Henry's washed, but not your dude who was hurt. Get this. Your guy's never been the same since he got hurt. Henry's gotten better. Yeah, he's so washed. Last year he had 1,200 yards on the Titans and 10 touchdowns. He's washed. Okay. Keep telling yourself that, kid. Derrick Henry will run out of gas probably in 3 years. Say he's got 2.5 more good years left. Okay, Kellen hasn't even installed the bulk of the offense, and hey, DFW, and they can't even play catch yet. And get this, you know what everyone in Philly's saying? Hey, don't worry about it. It's only OTAs. Hey, you sound like Nick. That's something Nick would say. Hey, don't worry about it. It's all right. That's something Nick would say. Hey, don't worry about it. Like you guys. Not a big deal. When Xander told me that, he must have ducked his head. Oh, no. He got him. Oh, man. 5 more likes, folks. Let's go, man. We're almost there. I would appreciate it, man. End the show strong. You guys are making it happen. Yes, sir. Kreigels need a real quarterback. Damn, Brian. Nick's a smart paisan. Yeah, he sure seemed it and looked it last year. Jalen, go under center. I can't do that, coach, unless you're running the tush push. Yeah, okay. Oh, man. Sirianni, a made man with the devil. Barkley had one teammate make the Pro Bowl since entering the league. Oh. Who's the Pro Bowl on the offensive side in Tennessee? Let me guess. Who? AJ had 60 catches. He wasn't doing anything. 60 catches, 1,000 yards. His numbers were not great. Trayvon Burks. Whew. Come on, guys. 5 more likes, man. Way to go, Flexion. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate it. Let's go. Big Sales, you the man. Thanks for keeping my day going. Hey, Jeffy, we have a lot of fun here. We throw jabs back and forth. It's all good. You guys are fantastic. We had such a great week this week, and we really thank you guys. Look, we all kid around here, and Dallas is broke, no money. Hey, Bob, DFW has to hit. Hey, he has to deal with that. Yeah, Bernard Hopkins made a huge factor, or DeAndre Hopkins made a huge factor last year on that Titans team. Yeah. That was enormous, that DeAndre Hopkins edition last year. You guys have a sensational Friday. I can't thank you enough for this week. You guys were fantastic. Thank you guys again. God bless each and every single one of you. Be safe this weekend. We'll see you Monday going 2 to 6, and we shall catch you on the flip side.